briefly slipping into unconsciousness. Upon landing, Lin Hui exuberantly shouted, "One down, 9 to go." The onlookers were left agape, their jaws dropping in shock. Lei Ming gasped, "This kid is simply a prodigy. No, even if it's through sheer force, he must be retained. With proper training, he could undoubtedly become a key player within the Black Tiger ranks. What are you all waiting for? Are you here to spectate?" Lei Ming bellowed urgently. Snapping the remaining 9 from their stupor, they surged forward, roaring, "All together, let us finish him." Chapter 125. I offer you a chance. Yet you prove ineffective. The others surged forward like a torrent, unleashing a flurry of combined strikes upon him. To Lin Hui, their attacks unfolded in slow motion. He smiled slightly, sliding backward as 2 Special Forces soldiers' strikes missed their mark. The group, exasperated, unleashed a barrage of jabs, hooks, and kicks. Yet, Lin Hui appeared as though he possessed dozens of eyes, deftly evading their every move. Ding. Evasion ability, 1111. Ding. Agility, 111. The notifications chimed repeatedly, signaling another enhancement of Lin Hui's prowess. His movements became swifter and more fluid. The spectators watched in astonishment as Lin Hui danced through the chaos like a butterfly flitting through flowers, their jaws agape in disbelief. This young man possessed remarkable talent. Had it been them, they would have fallen within mere moments, yet he managed to endure for so long. Beside them, Lei Ming's eyes nearly bulged from their sockets. Was this kid a loach in his past life? With so many attacking him, how is it that not even the hem of his garment has been touched? The 9 adversaries became increasingly frantic. They launched relentless attacks. But Lin Hui moved like a leaf in the wind, always evading with the slightest shift of his body. Even when they exchanged glances, coordinating their assaults from various angles to corner him, he consistently found the narrowest of openings, deftly slipping away from their clutches. A fatigued Special Forces soldier gasped, "Damn it. I refuse to believe I can't hit you." Seizing the opportunity while Lin Hui was besieged by others, he forsook the principles of martial ethics and launched a sneak attack. Striking Lin Hui from behind. Clang. The blow landed as if it had struck iron, sending a jolt through his hand. How can this guy be so tough? Having landed a hit, the others displayed expressions of delight, but before they could revel in their moment, Lin Hui's fist struck like serpents emerging from their lairs, landing directly on their faces. 2 of them were immediately sent reeling, blood gushing from their noses. Meanwhile, Lin Hui turned to the one who had attempted the ambush. "What are you doing?" The assailant felt a pang of guilt and stammered, "In nothing." With a swift kick, Lin Hui sent him sprawling like a giant frog, sliding several meters across the ground. Lin Hui scoffed, "Haven't you eaten? When you hit someone, you must put some force into it, like I do." Suddenly, 7 adversaries charged towards him, cornering him from all sides. Lin Hui's eyes darted, calculating the most efficient escape route. Just as he prepared to move, he was unexpectedly kicked from behind, propelling him forward several steps, nearly causing him to stumble. Ding. Impact resistance 1. Lin Hui straightened up, feeling his body becoming more resilient, and laughed heartily. "Delightful. Come at me again, with more force." The one who had kicked him was taken aback by his reaction. "What the hell? Is this guy insane? He is so happy after taking such a heavy hit." Seeing his confusion, Lin Hui grinned. "If you're not going to attack, I will." He dashed forward, delivering a powerful punch. The opponent, unable to evade in time, crossed his arms defensively across his chest. Bam! The tremendous force nearly shattered his bones, sending him hurtling backward like a cannonball, colliding with another. Having grasped the situation, Lin Hui decided to unleash his full strength, no longer holding back. Utilizing the combination punches he had just learned, along with his speed and power, he swiftly dispatched the remaining foes. The air was filled with cries of despair. Before long, all 10 adversaries lay defeated, leaving Lin Hui standing alone on the training ground. Silence descended, akin to a graveyard at night, devoid of any sound. Everyone swallowed hard, their minds struggling to comprehend. They had initially thought he was boasting, but he truly had the capability to take on 10 opponents. The combat skills of a Special Forces soldier are honed through rigorous training. Typically, one such soldier could easily handle 3 or 4 regular troops. Yet here was Lin Hui, single-handedly overcoming 10, an extraordinary feat. Lin Hui cracked his neck and beamed at the onlookers. "I gave you a chance, but is this all you can do? I thought having 10 would provide me with a bit of a challenge, yet it ended before I even got to showcase my skills." The group quickly closed their jaws, snapping back from their shock, now seething with anger. After spending so long in the Special Forces, they had always been the dominant ones, riding high above others. Yet now, they found themselves humiliated, left utterly speechless. 10 against 1, and yet they were all eliminated? It's hard to believe. Observing a group being carried off to the infirmary, Lei Ming's expression was more grotesque than if he had ingested 100 dead flies. Lin Hui turned to him, a smug look on his face, and remarked, "Captain, what do you think of my combat skills? Quite decent, wouldn't you say?" I learned from the Tiger Corps. If you wish to improve, you might consider joining us. I could offer some guidance. Lei Ming nearly spat blood, wishing fervently to sew this fellow's mouth shut. With a beaming smile, Lin Hui continued. What other skills do you possess? Feel free to showcase them. I've bested you in combat. What shall we compete in next? How about camouflage? Lei Ming felt a tightness in his chest, nearly gasping for breath. After all, if you could disguise an entire unit that effectively, why even bother competing? Although he hadn't participated in the exercises, Li Ming and the others had filled him in upon their return. A group had concealed themselves among trees and shrubs in the woods, fooling even the keenest eyes of special forces. He heard tales of one individual who had touched something unsavory, returning with a rash on his hands. Moreover, their camouflage techniques had deceived not only the naked eye, but also infrared thermal detection. Who would dare to challenge you in such prowess? Lei Ming addressed the crowd coldly. Why aren't you speaking? He.S. asking you a question. What shall we compete in? The previously agitated group suddenly fell silent, casting furtive glances and resuming their fingernail picking. Lei Ming was at a loss for words. These fellows, who had shouted the loudest, now shrank back when it was time to act. Seeing no one was willing to speak, Lin Hui grew more amused. Why the silence? There are so many events to choose from. Surely you must excel in a few. After all, you are special forces, the elite among soldiers. Lin Hui felt a small surge of pride. He understood well the immense resources the nation invested in crafting a special soldier, towering above the rest. Yet, even such versatile special forces would be crushed by someone like him, for they lacked a proper system. Checking the time, Lin Hui's impatience grew. Hey, are you going to compete or not? With so many events, just pick the one you're best at, and let us get on with it. I need to hurry back. I might still catch dinner in the mess hall. Lei Ming scoffed inwardly. Now that he was here, there was no way he would let Lin Hui leave. Dream on. The stronger Lin Hui appeared, the more it validated Lei Ming's discerning eye. Smiling, Lei Ming asked, How is your marksmanship? Lin Hui sheepishly replied, It's average. I'm not very good. Lei Ming immediately seized upon this revelation, grinning as he said, Excellent. Then let us compete in marksmanship. Lin Hui's eyes sparkled with excitement as he laughed heartily. No problem. No backing out. A sinking feeling struck Lei Ming as he observed Lin Hui's cunning smile. Had he said something wrong? Chapter 126. This kid is playing the fool to eat the tiger, Lei Ming announced loudly to the crowd. Did you all hear? He wants to compete with you in marksmanship. What audacity! How dare he challenge us in shooting? Finally, everyone regained their confident smiles. The special forces were most adept at marksmanship, while hand-to-hand combat took a back seat. Not every special forces soldier is a master of hand-to-hand combat. After all, their primary expertise lies in infiltration, harassment behind enemy lines, decapitation strikes, and sabotage. The combat skills they acquire are primarily focused on incapacitating the enemy with a single blow, leaving no chance for retaliation. In contrast, marksmanship is their foundation. Indeed, it is their second life. Those who dare to challenge our shooting prowess are courting their own demise. Allow me, came the eager calls from the crowd, all eyes fixed intently on Lin Hui. He regarded them with a disdainful smile, feeling a sense of superiority. No matter the challenge, you cannot surpass me. I am equipped with an unbeatable system. Seeing the enthusiasm among the crowd, Lei Ming's face broke into a smile. Let us proceed to the shooting range. As people approached, Lin Hui graciously stepped aside, bowing slightly and saying, Please, after you. With hands clasped behind his back, Lei Ming strode past him with an air of confidence, determined to showcase the true prowess of the special forces. Lin Hui followed closely behind, while others encircled him with an aggressive demeanor, as if to prevent any chance of escape. Before long, the group arrived at the shooting range. Lin Hui was astonished to find that this range was unlike any he had encountered before, vast, spacious, with targets set at seemingly greater distances. This range is distinct from those of conventional units, Lei Ming stated casually. Regular forces typically shoot at 100 or 200 meters. Here, we start at 200 meters, with distances of 400, 500, and even up to 1200 meters available. He turned to Lin Hui and inquired, So, can you handle it? Lin Hui grinned. If you can, so can I. Seeing Lin Hui's audacious demeanor, Lei Ming called out loudly, Who is willing to step up? I will. A tall, lean first lieutenant with piercing eyes and an air of competence emerged from the ranks. His appearance immediately bolstered the confidence of those around. We are certain to win. A soldier nearby sneered, We must win. Bukuin is our sharpshooter, reigning champion in marksmanship competitions year after year. Even among special forces nationwide, he stands out. This kid wouldn't even be worthy enough to polish his shoes. Bukuin approached Lei Ming and saluted. Captain, let me take him on. Lei Ming nodded and turned to Lin Hui, saying, He will be your opponent. What do you think? Lin Hui assessed him from head to toe. Is he your strongest? Bukuin nearly choked in indignation, shouting, I am indeed the strongest. With such a loud voice, I believe you. Lin Hui replied with a chuckle. So, how shall we compete? Bu Kuan retorted with a scoff. Will you shoot with iron sights or optical sights? With iron sights, we will shoot at 300 meters. I can reach 400 at my maximum. With optical sights, we begin at 600, and I can hit targets at 1200 meters. Hitting a target at 1200 meters is already at the limits of visual capability, even with high magnification scopes. A target at that distance is no larger than a sesame seed, let alone the diminutive bullseye. Can you manage that? Lin Hui nodded. I will give it a try. Bu Kuan smirked. Very well. Take your shot at 300 meters first. If you cannot hit that, there is no need to continue the competition. Lin Hui did not engage in further discussion. He approached the firing platform, lay prone on the ground, loaded the magazine, and began to aim. It was Lin Hui's inaugural experience shooting at a 300-meter target, having typically only engaged with 200-meter distances at the Tiger Regiment. Ding. Vision 1. Ding. Aim 1. Ding. Accuracy 1. With each notification echoing, Lin Hui's field of vision sharpened significantly. He felt a surge of joy within, realizing that taking the time to aim proved beneficial. After an ample half-minute, the onlookers grew impatient as they observed Lin Hui still focusing intently. Hey, are you asleep? Can you shoot or not? If not, just concede. At that moment, the sound of gunfire erupted. Bang, bang, bang. Lin Hui's finger pressed against the trigger, unleashing a rapid succession of shots. Everyone was taken aback. Had this guy lost his mind? At such a distance, he was attempting a rapid-fire shot? Lei Ming snickered inwardly, questioning whether this lad was genuinely foolish or merely pretending. Rapid-fire shooting, where 3 or 4 rounds were discharged at once, typically resulted in an alarmingly low hit rate. After all, a firearm possesses recoil. After each shot, the muzzle must be subtly adjusted to fire again, barring any reckless spraying of bullets. They only dared to employ rapid firing within a 200-meter range, and even then, the accuracy waned. Bu Kuan, observing from the sidelines, was rolling his eyes in disbelief, having concluded that this individual was merely shooting aimlessly. Soon enough, Lin Hui had fired all 30 rounds and stood up. I'm done. Your turn. Bu Kuan scoffed derisively. I don't even think we need to compete. The moment you fired, you lost. How do you expect to hit anything at 300 meters with a rapid shot? I wager there are fewer than 5 bullet holes on your target. Lin Hui replied with unwavering confidence. How would you know without having seen it? Are you afraid of losing and thus hesitant to compete? Bu Kuan, incensed, was about to retort when Lei Ming interjected. All right, let us have the target reported. Soon. The voice of the reporting officer crackled through the radio. Report to the team leader, 30 rounds fired, all in the 10 ring. What did you say? Lei Ming nearly dropped the radio in disbelief. The officer continued, all in the 10 ring. Bu Kuan was left dumbfounded. How is that possible? I demand to verify the target. Shortly thereafter, the target was brought forth. Indeed, all 30 rounds had pierced through the 10 ring, obliterating the center of the paper. Everyone's jaws dropped in astonishment, questioning whether this individual was wielding a toy gun. Was there truly no recoil? To achieve such remarkable results with rapid fire? Bu Kuan was left bewildered. How can we even compare? Even if he held the gun to his own head, he couldn't replicate this performance. Observing the astonishment of those around him, Lin Hui waved his hand dismissively, casually stating, not bad, right? I didn't expect such a commendable result on my first time shooting. Nonsense. If one could achieve such results on their first attempt, they would surely have their heads examined. This lad was undoubtedly playing the part of a pig to eat the tiger, particularly for Bu Kuan. His expression was as dismal as if he had consumed something distasteful. To reach his current level, he had trained tirelessly, expending countless boxes of ammunition, his arm having endured dislocation from the recoil numerous times. Yet now, he found himself bested by Lin Hui. Lin Hui politely suggested, Team leader, shooting at 300 meters lacks challenge. Could you arrange for me a 1,200-meter target? I wish to test my limits and see if I can hit it. Do you really think you could hit a target at 1,200 meters? You must be joking. A sharpshooter is nurtured by countless bullets, and you, a mere rookie with only a year of military training, aspire to such a feat? No one believes it. Not even Lei Ming thinks Lin Hui can accomplish it. Although hitting the bullseye at 300 meters was impressive, the challenge escalates dramatically at 1,200. At such a distance, even the slightest deviation of half a millimeter from the barrel will send the bullet veering off course. With an innocent demeanor, Lin Hui suggested, how about letting me give it a try? I've never done this before and lack confidence, so I might as well treat it as a game. Upon hearing this, the once mocking crowd fell silent, and a few began to feel a twinge of unease. Could this individual truly be a master, merely playing the fool? Lei Ming found himself in a difficult position but ultimately nodded in agreement. If you wish to attempt it, then I shall allow you. Lin Hui grinned, swapped his firearm for a sniper rifle, and equipped it with an optical sight. He resumed his position at the shooting platform, taking aim. Dings echoed in succession. Vision 1. Aim 1. Each chime bolstered Lin Hui's confidence. The longer he aimed, the more precise his focus became. To ensure accuracy, he decided to take a bit more time. Before long, a minute had elapsed without any movement from Lin Hui, causing Lei Ming to grow impatient. Are you going to shoot or not? Shoot. Now. Lin Hui smirked, his finger gently squeezing the trigger. Bang, bang, bang. He continued with a series of short bursts. The onlookers were left utterly speechless. Shooting in short bursts at 1,200 meters? This guy must be a complete fool. Chapter 127. Special forces are not so different. Bang, bang, bang. The cacophony of gunfire abruptly ceased. Lin Hui rose from the ground, dusting himself off, and swiftly emptied the magazine. Separating the rifle from the magazine, he tossed the 85 sniper rifle to Bu Kuan. Your turn. Bu Kuan chuckled coldly. Finished already? Lin Hui smiled modestly. Indeed. I didn't expect the first time using the 85 sniper rifle to go so smoothly. It didn't seem overly challenging. Observing his nonchalant demeanor, the crowd rolled their eyes in disbelief. Such arrogance. They awaited the moment he would embarrass himself. If even a single bullet found its mark at 1,200 meters, they would eat their words. Lin Hui paid no heed to their remarks. A true master is always met with skepticism. He waved his hand dismissively, stating, when the target is retrieved, I won't even look. You can all check it yourselves. Otherwise, if my score is too high, you're bound to suspect foul play. You? Achieving a high score? This guy must still be dreaming. Everyone present was aware of the chaotic nature of Lin Hui's previous attempt. It was akin to shooting with one's eyes closed, devoid of any finesse. Yet, they remained cautious. This fellow had a knack for mischief. Who knew if he would secretly poke holes in the target to feign success? At that moment, the target runner approached at a brisk pace, holding the target. Before approaching, Lei Ming inquired with a smile, what were his scores? If he did not pass, then so be it. We must consider his dignity, after all. The target officer, with an expression of embarrassment, hesitated before replying. He passed. Huh, Lei Ming exclaimed, his eyes widening in disbelief. He passed? How many rings did he hit? The officer swallowed hard and, with uncertainty, responded, all 10 rings. Every bullet struck the bullseye. Silence enveloped the scene. A profound stillness fell over everyone present. Lei Ming immediately rushed forward, inadvertently showering the officer with saliva as he exclaimed, are your eyes deceiving you? All 10 rings. Are you jesting with me? The officer, now drenched, was at a loss for words. Even he struggled to believe that someone could achieve such a feat. Perhaps you should see for yourself, he suggested, wiping his face as he raised the target aloft. Sunlight streamed through the hole in the center, casting rays upon the faces of the onlookers, who instinctively squinted. The target paper, marked with 10 rings, had been utterly shredded. Gasp. At that moment, a collective intake of breath echoed through the crowd. Could this individual truly have accomplished such a remarkable feat? Goodness, was he a ghost? How could he shoot with such precision? Or perhaps his firearm lacked recoil, aided by some external sighting device? With a clatter, Bu Kuan lost his grip on his gun, causing it to tumble to the ground. The stock struck the top of his foot, eliciting a grimace of pain. Yet, compared to the agony in his foot, a tempest of emotions surged within him. Hitting the target from such a distance with a short-range shot was already a formidable challenge, even for him. Yet this individual had managed to strike all 10 rings. Had he been shooting since infancy, pacifier in mouth? Lin Hui approached, clapping his hands, and said, what do you think, esteemed marksman of the Black Tiger? I performed adequately, did I not? Bu Kuan's lips twitched, unsure of how to respond. Well, it was decent. Lin Hui nodded. Decent is merely average, surely beneath your standards. Let us not compete further. You may shoot to my standard, and if you match my score, I shall concede defeat. Bu Kuan's face reddened, his nerves fraying. This was indeed a test of one's spirit. Even with divine intervention, he could not hope to replicate such a feat. Shooting all 10 rings at 1,200 meters was beyond the capabilities of any ordinary person. It was positively absurd. Beside them, Lei Ming quickly interjected to ease the tension. No need for comparison. If you can accomplish it, he surely can too, without much doubt. Bu Kuan's face flushed with embarrassment as he nodded, eager to preserve some semblance of dignity. Lin Hui chuckled, not intending to expose the truth. He added, indeed, if an ordinary soldier like myself can achieve this score, it must be a walk in the park for you. Shall we attempt something more challenging then? Perhaps a different shooting style? Bu Kuan felt tears welling up. Hadn't this already been challenging enough? Was this meant to be his undoing? Achieving all 10 rings at 1,200 meters was a rarity that could hardly be found nationwide. It is rare to encounter someone of this caliber on a global scale. At such an extensive distance, the bullet's flight alone requires 2 seconds. In those 2 seconds, any minuscule shift in wind direction, humidity, or environmental factors would render a successful hit impossible. Although he was unaware of how Lin Hui accomplished this feat, it was evident that his talent for shooting was a divine gift, as if fate itself had conspired to nurture his abilities. With an innocuous demeanor, Lin Hui inquired, "So, how do you compare?" Although Bu Kuan wished to decline, his pride compelled him to muster the courage to respond with a huff. "What kind of competition do you have in mind?" Lin Hui glanced at the target, a smile curving his lips. "Shooting at a stationary target is rather uninteresting. It fails to showcase the true prowess of your special forces. How about we engage in a live target practice instead?" The onlookers furrowed their brows, puzzled by Lin Hui's suggestion. Lei Ming and Bu Kuan exchanged bewildered glances. "What do you mean?" Lin Hui chuckled mischievously. "It's quite simple. Have you seen those television shows where someone balances an apple on their head and another person shoots it with a bow and arrow? Let us adapt that to firearms. I will take my shot first while you balance an apple on your head from a distance of 1,200 meters. Once I finish, it will be your turn to shoot at me." Bu Kuan's legs nearly buckled beneath him, almost causing him to kneel on the spot. "You are truly ruthless. You want to take my life just for a casual contest? What if you accidentally miss the apple and blow my head off?" Lin Hui rubbed his hands together, eagerly anticipating the challenge. "So what do you say? It will certainly be exhilarating. Are you serious? This is a matter of life and death." Before Bu Kuan could voice his refusal, Lei Ming erupted in anger. "Are you out of your mind? Joking with a soldier's life?" Lin Hui shrugged with a nonchalant expression. "I'm merely attempting to showcase your skills. Alternatively, you can shoot first. I am prepared to take the risk." Seeing his brazen demeanor, Lei Ming felt an acute frustration, as if 100 bottles of instant relief could not alleviate his irritation. He took a deep breath, exuding resignation. "All right, fine. You in the shooting contest. There is no need for further competition. Does anyone wish to challenge him?" Lin Hui surveyed the crowd, and everyone shook their heads in unison. Even Bu Kuan took a step back, retreating into the throng, joining in the head shaking. Lei Ming, observing the cowardice of his comrades, felt a surge of anger. Just moments ago, they had boasted confidently, but now, having witnessed Lin Hui's capabilities, they had all cowered. Or had their special forces spirit gone? Disappointed by the lack of challengers, Lin Hui turned his gaze to Lei Ming. "What are you looking at me for?" Lin Hui rubbed his hands together, a mischievous grin spreading across his face. "Captain, why not step up yourself? It would be an excellent opportunity for me to witness your prowess and learn from you." Lei Ming was nearly incensed, realizing that even the best marksman of the Black Tiger had yielded. Did he expect me to embarrass myself? This mischievous brat had ulterior motives. He snorted dismissively. "No need. I respect the opinions of my team. Their acknowledgement of your skill suffices. You in the shooting contest. Really? That was it. I barely exerted myself." Lin Hui's expression fell. Disappointment etched across his face. This was far too easy. It seemed that the special forces were not all they were cracked up to be. Indeed, his absence was justified. There was little to learn from his presence, and it would be far more beneficial to remain with the Tiger Squad and his comrades. Thunder, visibly irked, glared at him and said, "Young man, do not be so smug. The skills we possess as special forces far exceed your imagination. Do you think triumphing in combat and marksmanship is truly impressive? Our expertise extends well beyond those realms." Although he acknowledged Lin Hui's formidable abilities, Thunder was resolute in not letting him depart so easily. Allowing him to return would imply that the special forces lacked the capacity to retain such talent, jeopardizing the reputation of the Black Tiger unit and rendering him vulnerable to criticism from his superiors. Lin Hui raised an eyebrow, intrigued. "Since you claim to have more to showcase, why not reveal it? Let us not squander any more time." Thunder narrowed his eyes and coldly inquired, "As our guest, I will defer to you. What would you like to compete in?" With a playful glint in his eyes, Lin Hui replied, "How about we engage in something more intense this time?" Thunder paused, taken aback. "Intense? What are you scheming?" Lin Hui smiled slightly. "I have heard that special forces excel in infiltration operations and enemy decapitation, correct?" Thunder's face swelled with pride, tinged with a hint of disdain as he retorted, "Is that what you wish to challenge us with?" Lin Hui countered, "Is that unacceptable?" Thunder erupted in laughter. "Not at all. We shall gladly accept." The surrounding individuals joined in laughter, recognizing that infiltration and decapitation were indeed their specialties. Though Lin Hui may possess commendable combat and shooting skills, the reality of actual combat is far more complex. Especially given his tendency to take a minute to aim, he would likely fall victim swiftly. Real special forces prioritize coordinated operations and rapid responses, adapting to diverse terrains and tactics. Even in solo operations, they utilize the environment to devise the most effective strategies. Therefore, to be a competent member of the special forces, one must cultivate a well-rounded skill set beyond mere marksmanship and hand-to-hand combat. Otherwise, the considerable investment in training would be unwarranted. Thunder regarded him with a bemused smile. "Are you certain you wish to compete in this?" "Absolutely," Lin Hui replied earnestly. "Let us challenge ourselves in what you excel at. That is where the true challenge lies. Now, let us not waste any more time, as I have to return for dinner." Thunder was both amused and exasperated by his audacity. It seemed he would not be deterred easily. Very well. Since you have requested it so earnestly, I shall oblige. Did everyone hear that? He wishes to challenge you in your area of expertise. No objections. Let us proceed. The group wore expressions that hinted at mischief, their gazes fixed on Lin Hui like hunters eyeing their prey, confident in their impending victory. While they might not surpass him in shooting and combat, infiltration and decapitation were indeed the Special Forces' forte. With a confident smile playing at the corners of his mouth, Lei Ming remarked, "Since you wish to compete, I shall oblige you and allow you to relinquish this futile hope." Lin Hui nodded in agreement. Very well. However, should you lose, I must insist on being allowed to return. The group's countenance darkened. Go to hell. We will not lose to this. Lin Hui coughed politely. Indeed. Indeed. How could your special forces possibly suffer defeat? Let me rephrase. If I emerge victorious, I shall be permitted to leave? The crowd gasped in disbelief. Was this not the same sentiment? Lei Ming scoffed. If you manage to win, not only will you return, but I shall not hinder your aspirations of becoming a theater commander. The others erupted in laughter. Dream on. If you win, I shall be your dog. If you prevail, I will not only be your dog, but also bark for you. Lin Hui chuckled. Since you are so eager for punishment, let us commence without delay. Lei Ming coldly smiled. Who will be punishing whom remains to be seen. We shall not take advantage of you. Given your prior experience leading an entire battalion in jungle infiltration, it is evident you possess some skill, which is precisely why I sought your transfer. Since you excel in this domain, let us engage in a jungle warfare competition. Agreed. Lei Ming scanned the team. Sun Wei. Yes. A dark-skinned, athletic lieutenant promptly stepped forward to salute. Lei Ming introduced him with a smile. He is our strongest in jungle combat. You relish challenges. Consider yourself satisfied. Sun Wei eyed Lin Hui with disdain. He had not participated in the previous two exercises led by Li Ming. As the foremost expert in jungle combat, had he been present, the outcomes would have been vastly different, and he would not have fallen victim to any underhanded tactics. He glared at Lin Hui, his eyes brimming with provocation. This time, encountering me will not afford you such fortune. The jungle belongs to us special forces. Lin Hui shook his head and turned to Lei Ming. One person is insufficient. I fear that if I win, you may not acknowledge it. Lei Ming's expression turned grim. Nonsense. Do we seem like the type to dispute results? Lin Hui earnestly nodded. Very much so. Lei Ming nearly choked on his own words, exclaiming in frustration. I have already extended enough courtesy and consideration towards you. What do you mean by this? Are you unwilling to compete? Lin Hui grinned. As soldiers, what need have we for consideration? Such leniency is but a form of cruelty. I require you to be stringent and resolute with me. At least 20 individuals will suffice. The group was nearly brought to their knees. This fellow was audacious beyond measure. Did he believe this was a selection of ladies from a high-class establishment? Captain, allow me to take part. This is intolerably arrogant. He must be taught a lesson. The entire assembly, fueled by indignation, turned their gazes towards Lei Ming, eager to volunteer for the challenge. Lei Ming's eyelids twitched, his voice trembling. Very well, you require 20, do you? Since you have made such a request, so be it. He immediately selected 20 individuals from the ranks. Observing their dark skin and sharp gazes, Lin Hui could ascertain that these were indeed masters of jungle warfare. Lin Hui remarked with a smile, this arrangement is rather acceptable. With so many of you, even if you wish to evade responsibility, you would find it impossible. The group clenched their fists, their gazes icy. Did this fellow truly believe he could prevail? The specialty of the Special Forces has never been confined to a singular skill, nor is it limited to solitary combat. Rather, it lies in the art of coordinated tactics. 3 or 4 special operatives working in unison can rival an entire company. With this many participants, they could easily dismantle an entire battalion. 20 individuals collaborating in combat resemble a razor-sharp blade, capable of severing any foe or obstacle in their path. Observing the seething fury in their eyes, Lin Hui felt a surge of adrenaline. The recent skirmishes and marksmanship had significantly enhanced his capabilities. After this encounter, his prowess would likely ascend to unprecedented heights. Such opportunities are seldom found. Lin Hui smiled slightly. Now, let us discuss the terms of our competition. Thunder pointed towards the distant mountains, saying, beyond lies a mountain range stretching for hundreds of miles, all dense with primordial jungle. I do not wish to take advantage of you. I will allow you a head start of 20 minutes, or half an hour if you prefer. After that, our team will enter to pursue you. If you can eliminate 5 of our members without being captured, you shall be deemed the victor. The 20 individuals lifted their heads slightly, pride etched upon their faces. Typically, one Special Forces operative can account for the lives of 60 or 70 adversaries. 5 special operatives equate to the strength of an entire battalion. Should Lin Hui manage to eliminate 5, it would undoubtedly attest to his formidable skill. Lin Hui shook his finger. 5 is insufficient. To claim victory, I must eradicate them all. Complete annihilation. Thunder's expression darkened, and the others wore looks of indignation. Such audacity. How brazen. Did he truly believe we are mere pushovers? He will soon see. Lin Hui chuckled. Apologies, but I am already quite impressive. Your assistance is unwarranted. Thunder was infuriated to the point of nausea, yet he refrained from engaging in further banter with Lin Hui. Fine, since you insist, we shall proceed as you wish. Let us move. The group swiftly made their way to an open area, boarding the troop transport. After half an hour's journey, they finally arrived at their destination. This location was a grassy expanse on the outskirts of the jungle, and everyone quickly disembarked to assemble. The armory personnel delivered the weapons designated for the exercise, and the group promptly donned their gear, checking their arms. Each piece of equipment was outfitted with a smoke detection device. Upon being struck, it would be triggered directly. The weapons were quite similar to those used in actual exercises. Thunder bellowed. Is everyone ready with their weapons? All set. The group responded eagerly, their eyes alight with martial fervor. Thunder turned to Lin Hui. If all is in order, let us commence. You have 30 minutes to conceal yourself. Lin Hui grinned broadly. Nodding, I shall take my leave now. Comrades, do not keep me waiting too long inside. I will be anticipating your arrival. With that, he dashed into the forest without a backward glance. Thunder addressed the 20 individuals with a cold tone. Once inside, ensure you teach him a proper lesson. We must restore the honor of the Black Tigers. Sun Wei licked his lips. Rest assured, Captain. We will make him understand the vast disparity between ordinary troops and special forces. In the realm of infiltration, if special forces claim second place, no one dares to assert first. All present displayed cold smirks, akin to wolves and tigers, fixating intently on Lin Hui's retreating figure, poised to devour him whole. Chapter 129. Lin Hui, master of jungle traps. With a swift breath, Lin Hui nimbly vaulted over a fallen tree, racing forward with remarkable speed. The jungle's terrain was intricate and the light dim, yet upon his entry, he thrived, buoyed by his acute instincts, reflexes, and keen vision. No matter how treacherous the path, he traversed it as if gliding over flat ground, effortlessly surmounting every obstacle. During his prior wilderness survival training, Lin Hui had acquired a wealth of jungle combat techniques. Enhanced by a systematic learning ability, his mastery of these skills surpassed even that of elite special forces. Otherwise, he would not have so easily dispatched numerous members of the Black Tiger faction during the last exercise. A subtle smile graced Lin Hui's lips. Soon, you shall understand how regrettable it is to confront me in the depths of the jungle. These individuals mistakenly believed they could torment him simply by entering the woods, unaware of who the true hunter was. As Lin Hui sprinted through the thicket, he astutely surveyed the advantageous terrain. While he felt confident in one-on-one confrontations, engaging 20 at once would be sheer folly. After all, they were seasoned special forces operatives. To eliminate them required not only skill, but also strategy and finesse. Just then, something whisked overhead with a whoosh. Lin Hui halted, craning his neck upwards, only to discern what resembled a monkey. Curving his pinky finger, he placed it in his mouth and whistled forcefully. However, there was no response. Frowning slightly, he mused, it seems it is not the one. Undeterred, he continued to sprint forward, intermittently whistling in hopes of an encounter. If fortune smiled upon him, he might gain an ally. If not, he would simply have to press on, for the vastness of the jungle could yield unexpected assistance. After several attempts yielded no results, Lin Hui resolved to abandon the effort and continued his forward momentum in search of a suitable location. Before long, he came to an abrupt stop. He stepped on some dry leaves before him, which yielded softly beneath his foot, akin to stepping on cotton. Kicking aside the new leaves above, he uncovered layers of decaying foliage beneath. The dim, damp environment was permeated by a stench of rot and mildew. This area boasted an impressive growth of towering trees, casting a dense canopy that obscured the sunlight. Though it was daytime, the overly thick foliage made it exceedingly difficult for rays of light to penetrate. Even when some sunlight did manage to filter through the gaps, it was scant by the time it reached the ground. Overall, the forest appeared shrouded in a gray haze, reminiscent of a scene from a horror film, akin to Silent Hill. Lin Hui surveyed his surroundings and a satisfied smile emerged. As the saying goes, on a moonless night with a chilling wind, though it was daytime, this indeed was an excellent place for sinister deeds. This shall suffice. Jungle infiltration was the hallmark of special forces. Though he possessed a unique advantage, his adversaries were not to be underestimated. Moreover, their capacity for coordinated maneuvers posed the greatest challenge. The special forces typically operate in small teams, and in order to eliminate them, one must devise strategies to reduce their numbers in advance and disrupt their combat formation. Thus, the first task for Lin Hui was to find ways to pick them off one by one, denying them the opportunity for coordinated maneuvers. The simplest method was to set traps. The forest was replete with natural pitfalls, such as the muddy patch he had just traversed. Although it appeared shallow, stepping into it could submerge one up to the neck. With a clever concealment of leaves, it would serve as a perfect trap. Lin Hui circled the vicinity and soon spotted a tree entwined with vines. There were many such vines nearby. Checking his watch, he noted he had only 20 minutes left, prompting him to hasten his efforts. He grasped one vine, exerted force backward, and pulled with all his might. The vine snapped with a crackling sound, resembling a severed lifeline, sending a flurry of wood chips flying. He extracted 2 more vines, quickly weaving them together, securing one end to a sturdy branch. Then, with a forceful tug, he pulled the robust branch to its limit, swiftly fashioning a loop at the other end to lay on the ground. Below, he constructed a triggering mechanism and covered it with leaves. Lin Hui crouched down, meticulously inspecting his work. Once satisfied that there were no discernible flaws, he clapped his hands and stood up to set the next trap. Special forces are not ordinary individuals. Their reconnaissance abilities are among the finest in all military branches. To deceive their keen eyes, one must possess a superior level of jungle combat skill. Using the same technique, Lin Hui laid traps in several nearby locations. In the previous exercises, everyone collaborated to create traps, but this time, due to time constraints and working alone, he had to expedite the process. Ding. Trap crafting skill level 1. Ding. Trap crafting skill level 1. The notification chimes rang out, and Lin Hui's trap-making speed increased. He could complete a trap in just 2 to 3 minutes. Of course, many traps were relatively simple, relying heavily on the surrounding terrain. Nevertheless, Lin Hui was confident that these would be sufficient to give those fellows a run for their money. Continuing to tug at the vines, Lin Hui initially intended to craft 2 more traps. However, noticing the resilience of the vine in his hand, he pondered whether it was adequate. Just then, he sensed something approaching and abruptly looked up. Not far away, a furry creature was swinging from a tree, rapidly making its way toward him. As it reached above his head, the creature leaped down, landing 2 meters away from Lin Hui with a thud. A monkey grinned widely at him, standing perfectly still and obediently. Lin Hui's face broke into a joyful smile. What a surprise to encounter you here. The monkey tilted its head, baring its teeth as if it understood his words. Lin Hui glanced around and cheerfully remarked, I never expected your territory to be so expansive. Wherever there are monkeys, there you are. It seems you are more than just the Monkey King. Are you the ultimate monkey? Previously, although he had spotted monkeys in the forest, he was uncertain of their proximity. Thus, he merely whistled with a sense of tentative hope. He surmised that perhaps the earlier monkey had informed its companions of his presence, prompting their swift arrival. Lin Hui chuckled to himself, reflecting that this encounter was fortuitous, as he had inadvertently acquired an ally. He beckoned to the monkey, which promptly leaped onto his back. Lin Hui patted the monkey affectionately, grinning as he said, Once we conclude our urgent matters, there will be an abundance of bananas for you, but your reward will be contingent upon your performance. The monkey chattered joyfully, thrilled at the promise of bananas, confident that everything would be manageable. Meanwhile, outside the forest, Lei Ming glanced at his watch and coldly raised his head, declaring, It's nearly time. Prepare to set out. 20 Special Forces soldiers, eager and restless, displayed their excitement. Leading the charge, Sun Wei licked his lips, his gaze sharp as a knife. Brothers, the moment for retribution has arrived. We must ensure this little brat understands that his meager skills are no match for our special forces. With that, they surged into the woods, their spirits ignited by the thrill of battle. At this moment, a smile finally graced Lei Ming's face. Lin Hui, no matter your prowess, you shall not prevail this time. Chapter 130, The Brazen Deception Swish. A group of individuals swiftly penetrated the forest. Sun Wei, at the forefront, executed several tactical hand signals. The others nodded in agreement, quickly dispersing into pairs, forming a net-like formation. Each team maintained a distance of 20 to 30 meters apart, allowing for mutual vigilance and facilitating coordinated combat. This tactical arrangement was unique to special forces. No enemy could hope to escape once ensnared. Sun Wei tapped his earpiece and commanded coldly, Everyone, be alert. Upon spotting that brat, immediately inform the others. We will converge on him, leaving him no chance. A voice murmured, Captain, isn't this a bit ruthless? Another added, Indeed, with so many of us, employing a mass assault seems rather unfair. Sun Wei chuckled coldly. This young man, brimming with arrogance, has learned a trick or two and now dares to provoke our special forces. Today, we must teach him a lesson. It is for his own good. The group laughed maliciously, convinced that even if the boy possessed some skill in the woods and against their numbers, he would surely succumb. Sun Wei continued, All teams, remain vigilant. That brat is cunning and may be lurking, waiting to ambush us. A few kilometers away, behind a thicket, Lin Hui crouched on the ground, engrossed in his task. He gathered a heap of leaves and meticulously spread them over the trap he had just constructed. Ding! Trap-making skill level increased to 1. He wiped the sweat from his brow and was about to rise when a rustling sound caught his attention. Turning his head, he saw a monkey swiftly descend from the trees, landing precisely on his shoulder. The monkey chattered animatedly, gesticulating and incessantly pointing in one direction. Lin Hui gazed at him when suddenly a crisp voice echoed in his ears. Ding! Animal Communication Ability Level 1. This skill had already been enhanced several times during the exercises, rendering him essentially a half-tamer. Communicating with animals on a rudimentary level posed no challenge for him. Moreover, monkeys, with their intelligence comparable to that of a 34-year-old child, were relatively easy to converse with. Lin Hui smiled warmly and asked, "You mean, their people have arrived, correct?" The monkey nodded, thereafter gesticulating animatedly and chattering excitedly. Although Lin Hui could not fully comprehend the monkey's words, he grasped the general idea. He smiled gently, producing a wild banana from behind his back to offer the monkey. The monkey eagerly accepted the banana and began to munch on it with delight. Lin Hui then revealed several more bananas, waving them enticingly before the monkey. "If you perform well, all of these will be yours shortly." The monkey's eyes sparkled with excitement. Nodding vigorously, Lin Hui beckoned him closer, and once the monkey's ear was near, he whispered softly, "Just wait a moment." The monkey's eyes gleamed with understanding, and clutching the banana, it turned and leaped back into the trees. Watching the monkey vanish into the depths of the jungle, Lin Hui couldn't help but smile. This will be entertaining. In the forest, figures continued to delve deeper, and the surrounding light grew increasingly dim. Sun Wei scanned his surroundings, instinctively becoming alert. Years of combat experience in the jungle had honed a keen intuition, leading him to sense something amiss upon entering this thicket. The damp darkness and obstructed vision made him think that if he were Lin Hui, he would certainly choose this place to set an ambush. Suddenly, Sun Wei came to an abrupt halt, raising his hand to signal the second group to stop as well. "What's wrong, Captain?" "There's a trap." "A trap?" The members of the second group gathered around, inspecting the area but failing to discern any issues. The vice captain, accompanying Sun Wei, also found nothing amiss. Sun Wei scrutinized the even ground before him, a cold smile forming on his lips. "It seems we have underestimated this fellow. His trap-making skills are quite comparable to ours, though there are still a few minor flaws." He crouched down, gently using a twig to part the foliage, revealing a circular vine trap beneath. This was a snare. Anyone stepping on it would find themselves hoisted upside down as the rope tightened instantly. The members of the second group stared in astonishment. Wow, it truly is a trap. Clearly, this individual possessed some talent, managing to set such a cleverly devised trap in such a short time. Sun Wei tossed the twig aside, cautiously surveying the surroundings. "If my assumptions are correct, there may be more traps like this scattered throughout the forest. If I hadn't been observant, I might have fallen victim to one myself." Whoosh! Sun Wei heard a sound and instinctively prepared to look up. At that moment, his pupils dilated in shock. A monkey's face descended from above, mere centimeters from his own. It was so close that he could see each individual hair on its face. Suddenly, the monkey let out a loud shriek. "Ah!" Sun Wei was startled, involuntarily taking a step back. He had unwittingly fallen into the trap meticulously set by Lin Hui. Cursed! Sun Wei realized the peril and was about to flee when the vines suddenly ensnared his ankles, yanking him upwards with an intensity reminiscent of pulling a spring onion. The speed was astonishing, causing Sun Wei's head to collide uncontrollably with the ground. The helmet vibrated ominously, and he was rendered unconscious by the sheer force. "Captain! Captain!" Several members of the team, alarmed, shouted urgently. Sun Wei dangled from the vines like a pendulum, sleeping soundly, utterly unresponsive. "Damn it!" The vice captain trembled with rage, exclaiming, "This trap is utterly malicious." It set so low that Sun Wei didn't even have time to react before being knocked out. The members of Team 2 glared at the monkey frolicking in the trees, their eyes aflame and veins bulging. "Damn it, it's that filthy monkey again. Is this creature raised by Lin Hui? Why is it everywhere? Let us deal with it." As two members of Team 2 prepared to raise their guns, the vice captain immediately intervened. "What are you doing?" "We're going to avenge the captain," they replied. "What are you talking about? That monkey is a protected species. Besides, do you even have any bullets?" The others fell silent, realizing the truth. Their guns were loaded with blanks, utterly harmless. Even if they had live ammunition, they wouldn't dare fire, unless they wished to face confinement or a military tribunal. The vice captain's expression darkened, informed the others to be cautious of the monkeys. "And we have no idea how many traps that despicable creature has set in the forest. Everyone must remain vigilant." The others nodded, promptly relaying the orders. The vice captain glared coldly at the monkey. It was this creature during the last drill, and now it's back for more. "Is this never ending?" a soldier inquired. "Should we rescue the captain?" "Rescue? Can't you see he is already unconscious?" The vice captain retorted sharply. First, let us lower him down and cover him up. We'll figure out the rest later. Our primary objective now is to deal with that little brat. The other's eyes blazed with fury, their hearts filled with a burning hatred. With such a malicious trap, they were determined to beat him soundly to vent their frustrations. After severing the vines, they lowered Sun Wei and propped him against a tree. They fashioned a rudimentary disguise with leaves and rushed forward once more. However, they hadn't gone far when the vice captain's keen instincts sensed something amiss. He raised his hand, and the others immediately halted. Another trap? Without uttering a word, the vice captain crouched down to investigate. Indeed, another trap awaited them. The faces of Team 2 turned pale. This kid is too cunning. Within a mere 30 meters, 2 traps? Is he out of his mind? The vice captain scanned the surroundings coldly. In this dimly lit forest, the traps are set so discreetly that they are nearly invisible without close inspection. It seems this brat must be nearby. Only in this manner can he strike at us. Rustle. The leaves above rustled slightly, prompting the group to quickly raise their weapons. The monkey on the tree screeched at them, making faces incessantly. One soldier clenched his fists, seething with anger. Damn it, this monkey is insane. Why is it still bothering us? Get lost. Hurry up and get lost. Bang. Suddenly, a gunshot echoed through the forest. The 3 immediately dropped to the ground, and the vice captain barked, "We're ambushed." As they turned their heads, they were astonished to discover that the soldier who had just spoken had a plume of white smoke emanating from his head, a stark indication of his demise. His face reflecting a profound disillusionment with life. The soldier, in a fit of anger, cast aside his helmet, exclaiming in frustration, "Damn it. This monkey is deliberately revealing our position, allowing that guy to shoot. This is blatant cheating." Chapter 131. Even monkeys can deceive. How sinister. From behind a nearby thicket, Lin Hui chuckled softly, retracting his weapon without a moment's hesitation, swiftly retreating. The gunfire had drawn the attention of other teams, and everyone quickly converged towards this direction. Observing Lin Hui's back as he dashed away with the speed of a hare, the vice captain fumed. That bastard is getting away. Changing positions after firing a shot. What a shameless act. Chase after him, quickly. The vice captain, in a state of exasperation, led his team in a frantic pursuit. Lin Hui's agility had escalated to new heights, allowing him to navigate the forest with ease, leaving his pursuers trailing despite their best efforts. The vice captain, growing increasingly agitated, shouted, "Surround him, surround him." Immediately, everyone discarded their weapons and sprinted forward with all their might. The vice captain, along with the remaining soldier from the second team, raced ahead in hot pursuit. At that moment, a sudden screech from above startled them. The 2 instinctively assumed Lin Hui was employing the same trick again and quickly dropped to the ground to avoid an ambush. After a few seconds of silence, the vice captain peered cautiously, only to slam his fist into the earth in frustration. "Damn it. We've been played by that monkey." The other soldier glared angrily at the monkey in the tree. "That wretched creature has deceived us, just like that scoundrel Lin." Realizing they had been tricked, the 2 hastily sprang to their feet and continued their pursuit. Meanwhile, Lin Hui had darted through the woods and swiftly buried himself in a patch of grass. Soon, he heard the rustling of leaves ahead. A smile crept across his face. They were remarkably swift. The speed and reflexes of these special forces exceeded his expectations. If they were ordinary individuals, they would have been left far behind, yet these men had caught up in the blink of an eye. Clearly, they were not to be underestimated. Cautiously, Lin Hui extended the muzzle of his weapon, his finger poised on the trigger. Moments later, 2 special forces soldiers charged towards him with great speed, bending low and shifting positions, making it difficult for even Lin Hui to aim accurately. The training weapons were, after all, laser-guided and ineffective against obstacles. "Be careful," the vice captain said coldly. "That kid should be nearby. This time, we must capture him. He won't escape." Just then, the monkey's cries echoed from the trees once more. The 2 men immediately dropped to the ground again, but after several seconds of waiting, no gunfire was heard. "Damn it. We've been fooled again." The vice captain spat out dirt, his frustration boiling over. Due to their previous encounter, they had concluded that the monkey was intentionally revealing their position, heightening their vigilance. Better safe than sorry. To one's astonishment, the esteemed Special Forces soldier found himself outsmarted not once, but twice by a mere monkey. What a disgrace. Resolutely, he declared that they must continue the pursuit, for to fall for the same trick again would be utterly shameful. Rising from the ground in a fit of frustration, the 2 men were suddenly jolted by the activation of a smoke detector, leading to their immediate demise. Nearby, members of other teams, upon hearing the gunfire, quickly crouched low, wary of advancing recklessly. The vice captain's face flushed with indignation as he struck a tree with his fist, exclaiming, "That scoundrel Lin Hui has resorted to such deceitful tactics. How utterly insidious." Not far off, Lin Hui chuckled to himself as he hastily stowed his weapon, seizing the moment while his adversaries were still dazed. He crouched low and retreated without a hint of hesitation. That rogue has escaped again, someone exclaimed, exasperated by the shamelessness of his guerrilla tactics. If this continued, they would all become jumpy and paranoid. A suggestion arose. A few must divert the monkey, while the rest would flank him from both sides. He aimed to exhaust them with his guerrilla warfare. They could not afford to grant him that opportunity. Nods of agreement circulated among the group as teams 3 and 4 swiftly pursued the direction in which the monkey had fled, intent on drawing him away. Others split into 2 flanks, hastening towards Lin Hui to encircle him. Once encircled, there would be no escape for the cunning foe. With a determined breath, Lin Hui dashed into a dense thicket where the undergrowth towered, reaching up to his calves. He promptly retrieved a pre-prepared camouflage net, draping it over himself while adhering mud and grass to his form. Camouflage ability activated, he thought, enveloping himself completely, leaving only his eyes visible. Even his breathing slowed to a whisper. His opponents were not to be underestimated. He had to be thoroughly prepared. If discovered, defeat would be inevitable. Moments later, he heard the rustling of leaves in the distance. A monkey swung through the trees, heading toward his location. Concurrently, the sound of hurried footsteps approached from both sides. Finally, they had arrived. The clever little monkey had successfully led them here. Lin Hui smiled faintly, embodying the patience of a seasoned hunter awaiting his prey. In the next instant, 2 teams emerged from either side, their movements swift and agile. They advanced rapidly toward the direction from which Lin Hui had vanished. Where did he go? He must have run ahead. Continue the pursuit. As they closed in within 30 meters, Lin Hui abruptly cast aside his camouflage and fired his weapon. The sound of gunfire echoed. Bang, bang, bang. 2 members of Team 3 fell, struck by bullets, succumbing instantly. They had approached with utmost caution, having meticulously scouted the area. Yet never could they have imagined that a foe lay hidden in wait. There he is, came a shout from the other side. Without hesitation, Lin Hui swiftly rolled to evade. Bang, bang, bang. Team 4's 2 soldiers fired wildly, their shots missing entirely, striking the very spot Lin Hui had just vacated. One soldier, in a fit of anger, shouted into his earpiece, to the southwest. Encircle him. We must not let him escape. Upon receiving the message, the teams quickly regrouped, forming a pocket-shaped encirclement. Intense gunfire was unleashed upon Lin Hui, closing in on him with relentless ferocity. Bang! The sudden noise startled Lin Hui. Damn, so many of them. Their response is too swift. He rolled and darted, utilizing every available object for concealment as he made his frantic escape. Vaulting behind a sturdy tree, he landed just as 2 special forces operatives opened fire to his right. He didn't even have the time to ascertain whether they had been taken down before he turned and fled. Goodbye, I shan't play with you. Skirting past the 2 fallen comrades, the remaining soldiers pursued him, panting heavily. Their eyes reflected a mix of shock and fury. Damn it, we initially set out to capture him, and now we've become the prey? This kid is quite something. What now? We cannot continue like this. One of the more senior lieutenants spoke sternly. This fellow is exceedingly cunning. In my years of service as a special forces operative, I have never encountered such a sly adversary before. We have indeed underestimated him. If he lacked strength, we wouldn't have suffered such a dismal defeat in the last exercise. The others nodded in agreement, while they acknowledged Lin Hui's prowess. It did not equate to their acquiescence. Every special forces soldier had endured countless hardships to reach this point, and their sense of honor and mission would never allow them to concede defeat. In truth, according to the initial rules, Lin Hui had already secured victory. Yet, for the time being, it was best left unmentioned. Only by eliminating Lin Hui could they restore the pride of the Black Tiger unit. The lieutenant surveyed the group and coldly declared, for the sake of Black Tiger's reputation, Lin Hui must be eliminated. This boy wishes to wage guerrilla warfare, picking us off one by one, but it shall not come to pass. We must take the initiative, do not scatter. Whenever we spot him, we shall converge and unleash a barrage of fire to ensure his downfall. Onward. The remaining members quickly formed a triangular formation and pressed forward. Meanwhile, Lin Hui had ascended a robust tree. Across from him, a lively monkey waved enthusiastically. Lin Hui gestured for silence, and the monkey immediately fell still, remaining motionless. Perched on the tree, Lin Hui smiled faintly, patiently awaiting the bait to be taken. Chapter 132. Has the Black Tiger Special Forces been completely annihilated? In the jungle, a group of Special Forces soldiers advanced swiftly. Despite their speed, each step was remarkably light. Be meticulous. Do not overlook any trace, the leading lieutenant commanded coldly. The others nodded grimly, their eyes scanning the surroundings, searching for any signs left by Lin Hui during his escape. For Special Forces operatives, reconnaissance and tracking were pivotal skills. Their eyes resembled those of hawks, capable of swiftly identifying even the faintest clues within the dense, tangled undergrowth and following the leads relentlessly. During the exercises, they had relied on this very ability to closely pursue the opposing team. Even when the adversaries deliberately concealed their tracks, they could still uncover them. However, Lin Hui was exceptionally crafty, intentionally leaving misleading information during his flight. This indeed complicated the tracking efforts. However, Lin Hui was but a solitary individual, whereas there were approximately 10 others present. With such a multitude searching together, their collective ability to locate Lin Hui would undoubtedly multiply, ensuring his capture. At that moment, the lieutenant suddenly halted, standing motionless. What is the matter? The others immediately grew alert, lowering their voices to inquire. The lieutenant turned back, signaling with a glance and pointing towards his head. Everyone promptly raised their eyes, only to discover a monkey perched in the tree, blinking curiously at them. Goodness, not this troublesome creature again. After losing it for a while, it has managed to follow us. The lieutenant's eyes darted as he prepared to speak. But the monkey above suddenly began to screech loudly. Instantly, everyone's eyes lit up. The monkey must be signaling an alarm. The lieutenant swiftly redirected his aim towards the opposite direction of the monkey. That little rascal must be nearby. Scatter and fire towards any suspicious locations to flush him out. Understood. The group immediately dispersed, either crouching low or half-squatting, as they began to shoot towards the sides. The air was filled with the cacophony of gunfire echoing through the forest. Startled, the birds in the trees fluttered their wings and took flight. In the thicket of a nearby tree, Lin Hui crouched, watching the commotion below with a triumphant smile. Guan Yu has indeed fallen into my trap. With a powerful push of his legs, he leaped from the tree, firing as he descended. The sound of gunfire rang out. At this moment, both his marksmanship and strength had been significantly enhanced by the system. Even in midair, he could accurately strike his foes. Soon, 6 or 7 unsuspecting individuals with their backs turned to him were struck down, smoke rising from their bodies. The 2 special forces soldiers on the left, who were half-crouched, quickly reacted, turning their heads just in time to see Lin Hui soaring down towards them like an eagle. An airborne assailant. In their shock, they swiftly aimed their weapons. Yet, before they could pull the trigger, Lin Hui had already drawn his dagger. With a swift motion, he severed the vine tethering him. This vine served as a safety line. From a height of 20 to 30 meters, a hard landing would certainly result in broken bones, even for Lin Hui. With the vine cut, he became a projectile, hurtling towards the 2 soldiers. Before they could squeeze the triggers, they were forcefully struck down, their vision clouding to darkness as they collapsed to the ground, becoming Lin Hui's makeshift mattress. Lin Hui groaned as he quickly sprang to his feet. Damn it. That nearly killed me. As he stood, he caught sight of the 2 soldiers on the ground, their eyes rolling back as they convulsed, frothing at the mouth. What on earth are you 2 acting? Startled, Lin Hui rushed over to shake them. Hey, are you alright? Get up quickly. Don't try to pull a fast one on me. Get away. The recently fallen lieutenant rushed over, shoving Lin Hui aside, looking down at his fallen comrades. His fists clenched tightly, eyes blazing with fury. Lin Hui hastily explained, You must vouch for me. This is not my fault. They are trying to frame me. The lieutenant, infuriated, spat in his face. How dare you? Stand there and let someone drop from such a height, and see if you remain unscathed. Lin Hui glared back. What nonsense. Can't you see the vine tied behind me? It's meant to cushion the fall. I only cut it once I was close enough. That mitigated a significant amount of impact. Besides, aren't Special Forces supposed to be tough as nails? How can one be reduced to a quivering mess from a mere fall? That's just pathetic. The lieutenant, nearly apoplectic, retorted. That was a metaphor. The others were equally furious, itching to land a few punches on Lin Hui. Yet, any further argument was futile. Their entire team had been decimated, with 2 of their members rendered unconscious. Any additional rebuttals would be futile. The lieutenant gazed at the fallen comrades and shouted urgently. Hurry, save them. Carry them out. He shot Lin Hui a venomous glare as he departed. I'll settle this with you later. Watching them swiftly carry the 2 individuals away from the woods, Lin Hui smiled slightly and beckoned to a tree. A monkey swiftly descended, landing on his shoulder, wearing an expression of smugness. Here, this is for you. Lin Hui retrieved 2 wild bananas and offered them to the monkey, who was overjoyed. Come on, you've earned it today. Let us go for a feast. The monkey leapt and danced with exuberance. Meanwhile, outside the woods, Lei Ming, with his hat pulled low, sat in the vehicle with his eyes closed, resting. Li Ming approached and inquired, Captain. Lei Ming opened his eyes, leaped from the vehicle, and stretched lazily, glancing at the time. Wow, it's been 2 hours already. I suppose a victor has emerged. Have they come out? The bystanders shook their heads. Not yet. Lei Ming chuckled. Those youngsters have probably finished and are exacting their revenge in the woods. The others nodded, sharing mischievous smiles. Just because Lin Hui could handle 10 opponents did not mean he could take on 20. Furthermore, the jungle's environment was exceedingly complex. Once ensnared, escaping would be as improbable as sprouting wings. It was likely that the young man was currently being overwhelmed by a multitude of adversaries. This was a foregone conclusion. If he dared to provoke the Black Tiger unit, he'd better prepare himself for an unforgettable beating. This time, they had 20 seasoned warriors adept in jungle warfare. Before the thought could conclude, figures emerged suddenly from the depths of the forest. Someone excitedly waved. "They're coming out! They're coming out!" A smile crept onto Lei Ming's lips as he had already envisioned how to mock Lin Hui without revealing his intentions. How dare he flaunt himself before a special forces unit? Since the inception of the Black Tiger unit, this was the first occurrence. It was imperative to teach him a lesson, to make him aware of the vastness of the world and that there are always greater forces at play. Everyone was filled with anticipation, eagerly awaiting the unfolding spectacle. However, as the figures drew nearer, they stood frozen, mouths agape in disbelief. The members of the Black Tiger unit emerged, disheveled and battered. Some had smoke rising from their heads, while others were being carried out, their state of disarray utterly abysmal. Lei Ming's eyes bulged, and his jaw dropped in shock. What on earth? Have they been completely annihilated? Chapter 133. Are you happy, Commander? I'm back. Lei Ming swiftly led his men toward the commotion. Observing the disheveled and defeated appearance of these individuals, his expression immediately turned ashen. Without uttering a single word, he instinctively understood the calamity that had unfolded in the forest. 20 elite soldiers had been utterly annihilated by a mere regular unit, a tale that would undoubtedly become a source of ridicule. The lieutenant anxiously implored, "Captain, we must rescue them at once." Lei Ming surveyed the few individuals being carried behind him, his lips twitching in irritation. "Rescue? They're merely unconscious. A splash of water will suffice. Are you certain we should not assist them?" The other soldiers glanced back, their concern palpable. Sun Wei appeared to be resting peacefully, even drooling, yet the other two were frothing at the mouth. Furious, Lei Ming erupted, his voice laced with indignation. "With so many lost, the shame is already unbearable. Do you wish to compound it by heading to the medical team for another embarrassment?" The soldiers hung their heads, their faces flushed with shame. The lieutenant, steeling himself, attempted to justify, "Captain, we cannot shoulder all the blame. If it weren't for that scoundrel's underhanded tactics in bringing the monkey." Before he could finish, Lei Ming interjected, "Just because the enemy uses a monkey, you are rendered powerless? If the battlefield were to be invaded by a horde of monkeys, would you simply surrender? If you cannot even handle a monkey, what use is all your specialized training?" The lieutenant fell silent, and the others wished they could vanish into the ground. Had this been a real battlefield, they would be cold corpses by now, for no one listens to the explanations of the dead. At that moment, Lin Hui swaggered out of the woods, gun slung over his shoulder, exhibiting a brazen demeanor. Lei Ming squinted at him, nearly choking on his own blood. Indeed, perched upon Lin Hui's shoulder was a monkey, clutching a banana. The more he contemplated, the angrier he became. This man was already devious enough, and now he had a monkey to match. Was he a soldier or a beast tamer? Lin Hui signaled, and the monkey promptly leaped away. Approaching Lei Ming with a grin, he stood tall and saluted. "Report to Captain Lei. Lin Hui has fulfilled his mission, annihilating all 20 men." Lei Ming, infuriated, clutched his chest, speechless for a long moment. "Fulfilled your mission? Whose mission have you honored? I wish to see you eliminated, not to witness the destruction of my men." Lin Hui, with a triumphant tilt of his head, scanned the crowd, causing everyone to hastily avert their gazes, too embarrassed to meet his eyes. It was utterly humiliating. With a grin, Lin Hui inquired, "Captain, having bested you thrice, shall we revisit our previous discussion?" "Enough, enough. No more." Lei Ming, his face flushed with anger, retorted, "I will arrange for a vehicle to take you back at once. We cannot accommodate your grand presence in our humble abode. Please leave immediately." Lin Hui nodded with a smile. "Then do hurry, or I shall miss my meal." Observing the flustered Lei Ming, he continued earnestly, "Captain, we have established a rapport through this encounter. Next time, once my unit is adequately trained, I shall return for a friendly spar to aid your advancement." Lei Ming's veins bulged with fury as he shouted, "Get lost. I never wish to see you again, nor hear your name ever again." He immediately summoned a vehicle. Lin Hui opened the door of the SUV and without a word, climbed in. Leaning against the seat, a sense of satisfaction enveloped him. This encounter with the special forces had proven to be quite fruitful. Not only had his strength significantly increased, but he had also acquired a wealth of valuable special tactics. The true prowess of special forces lies not in individual combat, but in their collaborative strategies, which he had witnessed firsthand. Although he had employed a clever tactic to secure victory, it did not diminish the capabilities of the Black Tiger. After all, not everyone possesses a system to gain an advantage. Lin Hui mused to himself that once he returns, he must impart this knowledge to the brothers of the Sixth Company, propelling their strength to new heights. Just as the vehicle was about to start, Lei Ming suddenly approached and blocked the way. Lin Hui leaned out of the window. Frowning, what is the matter? Are you having second thoughts? Do you wish to compete again? Lei Ming felt a pang of frustration. Comparing himself to this eccentric was akin to seeking punishment. Taking a deep breath, he reluctantly said, I need to ask you for a favor. Lin Hui raised an eyebrow in surprise. What kind of favor? Lei Ming cleared his throat and lowered his voice. Once we return, please refrain from speaking indiscriminately about certain matters. Lin Hui paused for a moment, then burst into laughter. So, you are also concerned about losing face? Fine, fine. It's a trivial matter, but you must agree to one condition. Lei Ming's eyes widened. Are you daring to coerce me? Indeed, I am coercing you, Lin Hui declared, lifting his chin with pride. In matters of victory and defeat, if not now, then when? Of course, you can choose not to agree. But I tend to be quite talkative, and I might just share today's events in fragmented tales once we return. Alarmed, Lei Ming quickly covered Lin Hui's mouth. All right, I promise you. What is your condition? Lin Hui chuckled. It's nothing significant, just the items you previously promised us. Lei Ming erupted in fury. You wish. Those were meant as a trade for your arrival. Now that you're here, you expect to take them? Do you think me a fool? Lin Hui shrugged nonchalantly. I don't wish to pressure you. If you choose not to provide them, so be it. I'll simply share some stories when I return and chat with the publicity team to see if they need any creative inspiration. Before he could finish, Lei Ming interrupted. Exasperated. All right, you win. I'll give you the items. Is that satisfactory? How many days? 7 days. I promise to deliver them within 7 days. 7 days is too long. I fear I may boast uncontrollably. 3 days. Lei Ming was almost in tears. 3 days, I assure you, it will be delivered. Lin Hui grinned. Deal? Now let us get going. The driver cast a sympathetic glance at Lei Ming, who had never before seen the captain so cornered. It was utterly absurd. The vehicle swiftly roared to life and sped away. Watching the departing car, Lei Ming felt a wave of regret wash over him, cursing himself for having summoned this troublesome fellow. Now, he lamented having lost both his dignity and his men. At the 602nd Division headquarters, Zhou Zhongyi stood waiting downstairs. Before long, Lu Qingsong dashed out of the building, his face adorned with a cheerful smile as he exclaimed, I have just received confirmation from above. That batch of weaponry will arrive within a month. At that time, you shall accompany me to inventory it. That is precisely what I was hoping to hear. Zhou Zhongyi's eyes brimmed with tears of excitement. In a month, they would be the proud possessors of armored might, dominating the entire war zone. Suddenly, feeling a twinge of awkwardness, he inquired, Commander, I can't shake off the feeling of guilt regarding Lin Hui. This feels rather unjust. Perhaps we should bring him some fruit as a gesture? Lu Qingsong shot him a stern glance and replied earnestly, Comrade, how can you lack such awareness? Which man has a penchant for fruit? We ought to bring some canned meat, roasted chicken, or duck instead. Yes, of course. Your thoughtfulness is commendable. We must indeed procure some meat. Zhou Zhongyi rubbed his hands nervously and cautiously asked, but what if we face criticism for this? Lu Qingsong regarded him with a steady gaze. You have already sold him out. What's the harm in enduring a scolding? If he chooses to berate you, stand firm and accept it. If he feels inclined to kick you, do not flinch. Zhou Zhongyi was left speechless. Why was he being blamed for this? The idea was Lu Qingsong's. If anyone were to bear the brunt of the scolding or kicking, it should be him. With a resigned nod, he conceded, understood. Lu Qingsong's face radiated with a contented smile. Lin Hui must have settled in by now. I wonder if he can adapt. Special forces training is not as lenient as ours. The regimen of eating, sleeping, and training is relentless, and many individuals cannot endure such hardship. Just as Zhou Zhongyi was about to respond, a jeep suddenly approached from a distance, halting directly in front of them. As they exchanged puzzled glances, the car door swung open, and Lin Hui leaped out, laughing heartily. Surprised? Happy? Commander, battalion leader, I'm back. Zhou Zhongyi and Lu Qingsong rubbed their eyes vigorously, their minds momentarily frozen. How could this lad have returned? What was going on? Chapter 134. A windfall from heaven. Equipment delivered to us? Bang. In the command center, Su Qianshan slammed his palm on the table, furiously pointing at Lei Ming. I gave you a chance, yet you have proven inept. Everyone has gone to your unit, and you still allowed him to leave? Lei Ming stood there, splattered with saliva, rendered speechless. He could hardly confess to his superior that Lin Hui had utterly bested his men, leading them to send him back due to their inability to endure. If he were to admit that, his superior might very well faint on the spot. After a moment of contemplation, he replied, Sir, it's clear that the lad holds deep affection for his old unit. We are all soldiers, well acquainted with one another. If he is unwilling to be here, even if I were to forcibly bring him, his heart would not be in it. After all, a forcibly picked fruit is not sweet. Moreover, Our preliminary assessment indicates that his abilities may not yet meet our standards. Upon uttering these words, Lei Ming wished he could slap himself twice and deliver a few punches to his own face. Having been so thoroughly bested, he could not even voice a complaint. Yet he had to devise a way to smooth things over. Su Qianshan found himself at a loss for words, indignantly exclaiming, "If you deem him unworthy, then so be it. Simply return him. Yet why must you send such an abundance of weapons and equipment as well? What is this? Are you treating Lin Hui as if she were your own daughter, bestowing upon her a dowry?" Lei Ming felt a profound sense of frustration. Even if she were his daughter, she would still be a venomous cotton-padded jacket. He cleared his throat and explained, "Sir, these were promised to her beforehand. Now that we are sending Lin Hui back, it would be exceedingly improper to reclaim the items." Su Qianshan let out a cold, mocking laugh. "You certainly are generous and chivalrous, conducting yourself with such integrity. Very well, then, I shall deduct this from your military budget, 6 months' worth." Lei Ming nearly spat out a mouthful of blood. The special forces were already a voracious beast, consuming vast sums for training, equipment, ammunition, and facilities. Losing 6 months of funding would force the Black Tiger unit to tighten their belts. However, at this moment, he felt as though he were a mute swallowing bitter gall, unable to express his grievances, left to endure the bitterness in silence. Su Qianshan waved his hand dismissively. "Hurry and get lost. Your presence gives me a headache." "Yes." Lei Ming saluted and turned away, burdened with indignation. Just as he exited, Su Qianshan's eyes darted, and he sighed internally. This Lin Hui possesses some merit. He can actually return to the old unit? It seems this regiment will require special attention in the future. He opened a document on the table, encircled a section with a red pen, and then closed it again. In the corridor, Lei Ming walked dejectedly, feeling as though he had encountered an immense stroke of bad luck. Why must he provoke Lin Hui? Truly, he had lost both the lady and the troops. Not only had he failed to bring the person back, but he also lost face and half a year's budget. How unfortunate. "Captain Lei." He turned back to see Wang Yixue rushing over with documents in hand. Frustrated, he asked in a rather indifferent tone, "Is there something you need?" Wang Yixue fixed her gaze on him and inquired, "Captain, why did you decide to send Lin Hui back? What is wrong with him? Or is there something about him that displeases you?" Lei Ming felt a tightness in his chest. There was nothing wrong with him. But the young man was simply too infuriating. Wang Yixue pressed on. "After all the effort to bring such a talent on board, why would you dismiss him so easily?" Lei Ming's head felt like it might explode from anger. Having already faced a reprimand from his superior in the office, now being questioned by Wang Yixue was simply unbearable. In a fit of rage, he retorted, "Our matters are none of your concern. Just attend to your own business." With that, he hurriedly departed. Wang Yixue, stamping her foot in frustration, thought, "What kind of person is this? He himself claimed Lin Hui was a talent worth bringing in. And now he speaks such nonsense. It's utterly baffling." Yet, more than anything, she felt regret for Lin Hui. If only you could join the special forces. Your abilities would surely soar. But now that Lei Ming has dismissed you, you will have to exert even more effort than others. Sighing, Wang Yixue turned and walked away. In the office of the 602nd Division, Lu Qingsong and Zhou Zhongyi sat with serious expressions, staring at each other. Lin Hui stood across from them, grinning widely. Lu Qingsong slammed his hand on the table, irately demanding, "What are you laughing at? What's so amusing? Speak up, what brings you back? Who permitted your return?" Lin Hui spoke with utmost seriousness. "It was they who insisted on sending me back. Is it because you are incapable? No, it is because I am too exceptional. They believe the temple is too small to accommodate such a grand Buddha as I." Lu Qingsong, barely able to contain his laughter, retorted, "Can you speak properly? The Special Forces is a place where everyone strives to enter. What makes you think you're such a significant figure that they cannot accommodate you? What nonsense are you spouting?" Just as Lin Hui was about to respond, the telephone on the table rang abruptly. Lu Qingsong shot him a glare before picking up the receiver. "This is Lei Ming." Upon hearing the voice on the other end, Lu Qingsong's irritation surged. "Captain Lei, what do you mean? Weren't you supposed to take him away? Why is he being sent back? Have you no sense of honor? If you don't provide me with an explanation today, I will personally drive him back." Lei Ming was startled, as if he were avoiding a plague, and quickly replied, No, please don't. This soldier is like the reincarnation of Sun Wukong. He is far too formidable for me to handle, which is why I returned him. However, rest assured, the items I promised you will still be delivered, and I shall not take him back." Lu Qingsong's eyes sparkled with excitement as he leaped from his seat. Is this truly a stroke of good fortune from the heavens? He glanced at the smiling Lin Hui and lowered his voice to confirm. "Is this for real? You are indeed deceiving me, are you?" Lei Ming, seething with frustration, replied. "What reason would I have to deceive you? A promise made must be kept. Furthermore, you must keep a close watch on Lin Hui and ensure he remains tight-lipped. No wild tales, and certainly no storytelling. Should I hear of any trouble, I will reclaim that batch of equipment, even by force. All right, no problem. Lu Qingsong laughed heartily and hung up the phone. Zhou Zhongyi, noticing the radiance of joy on his face, hurriedly approached and asked, Commander, what is going on? Lu Qingsong completely ignored him, striding over to grasp Lin Hui's hand with enthusiasm, exclaiming, Lin Hui, you truly are the lucky star of 602. The captain has declared that not only will you not be taken away, but the items promised to us will be gifted as well. Lin Hui chuckled, Commander, was I not correct in what I said? Indeed, I misjudged you. Lu Qingsong laughed heartily, his joy surpassing that of a wedding celebration. Zhou Zhongyi stood in stunned silence, feeling as though his mind could barely comprehend the situation. Commander, have you not yet awakened from your dream? They have released Lin Hui. How could they possibly not take the items back? That would be sheer folly. Lu Qingsong punched him playfully in the chest. You are absolutely right. They are indeed foolishly generous, eager to bestow gifts upon us. If you doubt it, then we should simply refuse the items altogether. Of course we want them. Zhou Zhongyi fervently nodded, grinning from ear to ear. This was no mere stroke of good fortune. It was a veritable downpour of blessings from 602. Zhou Zhongyi glanced at the smiling Lin Hui, incredulously asking, Tell me, how on earth did you manage this? No one has ever been able to extract favors from the special forces, and you've done so with such aplomb. Lu Qingsong gazed at him in bewilderment. How could they willingly send you back and provide us with the equipment? There must be an explanation, right? Lin Hui revealed an innocuous smile. Perhaps they were moved by my unwavering spirit. Of course, it is also possible that my commanding aura intimidated them. Chapter 135. Lin's father was astonished. Did he truly defeat the entire special forces? Stop with the nonsense. Lu Qingsong exclaimed, his eyes wide with seriousness. Quickly tell me, what on earth transpired over there? Lin Hui straightened his chest and declared, It was my fervent insistence that I must return, so they devised a test for me. They placed several apples on a target 600 meters away, and if I could hit them, they would allow me to come back. Well, guess what? I actually hit them. They had no choice but to send me back. The two men exchanged doubtful glances. Is it truly that simple? Lin Hui nodded affirmatively. Indeed, it is that simple. Lu Qingsong clapped him on the shoulder, laughing heartily. Well done. It's rare for you to exhibit such steadfast willpower, always concerned for us. It's wonderful that you are back. Lin Hui silently scoffed, thinking to himself that their willpower was hardly steadfast. They spoke of selling him out, and they did so without a shred of remorse. With a sigh, Lin Hui lamented, I cared deeply for our unit, which is why I was reluctant to leave. But you, Commander and Colonel, seem to regard me with indifference. The two hastily acknowledged their faults. This was indeed our error, but we had our reasons. It was for your future and the better development of our 602 unit, wasn't it? Lin Hui shook his head in dismay. I do not grasp grand principles. But my heart has undeniably suffered a great deal. You all witnessed it. I risked my life to return, and the special forces nearly had me surrounded and beaten. After all I endured to come back, you not only failed to celebrate, but wished to cast me away again. It truly wounds my heart. Seeing him resemble a wronged spouse, Lu Qingsong felt a pang of guilt. Ultimately, they had indeed handled the situation poorly. Yet, it was hard to blame them. The temptation of the special forces offerings was simply too great. Who could resist exchanging one individual for the equipment upgrade of an entire division? Lu Qingsong took a deep breath, pressing his lips together. All right, enough said. Speak your mind. What compensation do you desire? Lin Hui grinned. How about making me a company commander? Lu Qingsong nearly spat blood. You little rascal, are you waiting for me to accommodate you? You've skyrocketed from private to officer. Now you wish to be a company commander? Have you not yet awakened from this dream? Lin Hui, clearly annoyed, retorted. Didn't you promise to compensate me? He clutched his chest, feigning heartbreak. Alas, my heart is utterly chilled. Perhaps it would be better to join the special forces, at least they value me. Beside them, Zhou Zhongyi's lips twitched, clearly amused by Lin Hui's performance. After a moment's contemplation, Lu Qingsong said, How about a deputy company commander? That's the most I can offer. A company commander is a captain, and you are but a second lieutenant. Don't expect to leap to the top in one bound. Lin Hui cheerfully saluted. Thank you, Commander and Colonel. I will certainly strive to excel. The two individuals were momentarily taken aback, feeling as though they had been ensnared in a trap. Yet, they found themselves at a loss for words, for their own culpability was undeniable. This debt, after all, would have to be repaid, particularly considering the other party's significant contributions. I have one more request, one of them said, their eyes widening with disbelief, their faces paling. Another request? Is this fellow attempting to seize the opportunity to exert his influence? Lu Qingsong furrowed his brow and urged, Speak. Lin Hui, with a grin, replied, I wish to return to the 6th Company. Since there is still no deputy company commander, it would be a perfect fit for me. Zhou Zhongyi, alarmed, was about to interject when Lu Qingsong preemptively acquiesced. Go, go, go. I approve your request. Zhou Zhongyi shot him a glare, his expression filled with exasperation. Isn't this just assigning me more work? Thank you, Commander. I shall take my leave now. Lin Hui saluted, his face radiant with joy as he departed. As soon as the door clicked shut, Zhou Zhongyi exclaimed urgently, Commander, are you not presenting me with a dilemma? The deputy commander of the 6th Company has been studying outside, and you know this well. If you agree to Lin Hui's return, once he discovers that his position has been compromised, how am I to explain this to him? Lu Qingsong smirked coldly. That is your concern, not mine. You must devise a solution. After all, you are the one who deceived Lin Hui. Now, you must provide an explanation. We cannot afford to dishearten him. Zhou Zhongyi's eyes were nearly rolling to the heavens. Truly, what a cunning individual he was. He could deflect blame with ease. And who knows when he might sell himself out in the future. Suddenly, the telephone on the desk rang, and Lu Qingsong straightened, answering with a serious tone. Good day. Sir. On the other end, Su Qinshan smiled. Ah, little Lu, I have heard all about it. That soldier in your division is remarkably loyal, refusing to leave for such advantageous conditions in the special forces. Such devotion is indeed rare. Lu Qingsong beamed with pride, boasting, Sir, it is all due to my exemplary guidance. I consistently emphasize to my subordinates the importance of loyalty not only to our country and people, but also to our unit. Beside him, Zhou Zhongyi felt a wave of embarrassment wash over him. What does this have to do with you? How shamelessly you claim credit. Besides, it was you who initially recruited him, so how can you show your face? Furthermore, Zhou Zhongyi continued, Lin Hui's loyalty stems from my teachings. My very name embodies loyalty and righteousness. The soldiers I nurture are bound to possess such virtues. Su Qinshan then spoke with gravity. Little Lu, during the recent Thunder exercise, your regiment performed exceptionally well. In the near future, our combat zone will engage in friendly exchanges with the Southeast Combat Zone, involving an entire army. I plan to have your regiment participate. Lu Qingsong's countenance darkened immediately, hesitatingly responding, Sir, interzonal exchanges involve elite troops. Sending them would only create chaos, as their combat capabilities are lacking. Su Qinshan's expression hardened, and he replied sternly, regardless of their combat effectiveness, they are required to attend. That is an order. Moreover, with so many participants, their presence won't significantly alter the balance. Even if their combat prowess is lacking, it will not be detrimental. Lu Qingsong felt a bit awkward. I was merely being courteous. Please do not take it to heart. The Tiger Regiment is exceptionally formidable. I simply wish to avoid any potential disruption. Isn't that inviting trouble? Before Lu Qingsong could speak, Su Qinshan decisively declared, All right, it's settled. Notify them to prepare. Once the call ended, Lu Qingsong wore a troubled expression. The joy of acquiring a substantial amount of new equipment had instantly dissipated. Zhou Zhongyi quickly approached to inquire about the situation. And upon learning that they were to participate in a cross-theater exercise, his face turned pale. With a mournful expression, he lamented, We barely managed to hold our ground in this regiment, hoping for some peaceful days. If we do poorly, it will be disastrous. Commander, can we not go? Such a large-scale exercise, surely they can do without us. Lu Qingsong shot him a glare and sternly admonished, This is a mission, an order. If we perform well, the higher-ups will surely give us special attention upon our return. Zhou Zhongyi, with a face full of distress, responded helplessly, I'm just worried about not performing well. Lu Qingsong patted his shoulder and said earnestly, Don't worry, Lin Hui is back. What is there to fear? That lad is full of clever ideas. As long as he is around, even if we lose, it won't be too devastating. Hearing this, Zhou Zhongyi felt both frustrated and saddened. With him around, he would have to relinquish command during the exercise. In the Southeast Theater, Lin Guangyao looked up at the secretary approaching to report, setting down his pen to inquire. How is that lad now? Has he settled down at Black Tiger? The secretary shook his head. No, he has returned. Bang! Lin Guangyao slammed his palm on the desk, his hands stinging from the impact. That rascal, just arrived and already chased away? I went to great lengths to help him. This is outrageous. The secretary, slightly embarrassed, clarified. Sir, Lin Hui was not chased away. Rather, he recounted the entire situation thoroughly. After all, there are no secrets that remain hidden forever. While the affairs of Black Tiger may be concealed from the general populace, they cannot escape our notice. After listening, Lin Guangyao gasped. He defeated the special forces, and they still begged him to leave? Just how formidable has that lad become? Chapter 136. Commander, why not just hand the entire company over to me? As night fell, the military compound lay in silence. Lin Rui had just returned home when a thick cloud of smoke enveloped him. In the living room, Lin Guangyao sat on the sofa, cigarette in hand. His brow furrowed tightly. A pang of anxiety struck Lin Rui, and he hurried over. Dad, what's wrong? From his understanding, his father seldom smoked. only lighting up a few when in the worst of moods. Yet now, the ashtray was nearly overflowing, indicating a significant issue at hand. Lin Rui, anxious, asked Dad, "Please speak. Don't frighten me. Is it something serious? You haven't got some terminal illness, have you?" Bang! Lin Guangyao slammed his palm on the table, his voice rising an octave with excitement. "Damn it! That rascal has finally grown up." Rascal? Lin Rui was momentarily taken aback, his mind struggling to catch up. Lin Guangyao extinguished his cigarette and pulled Lin Rui to sit beside him, his eyes gleaming with enthusiasm. "Lin Rui, your brother has achieved something remarkable. You have no idea." To return to his old unit, he actually took down the special forces, and they personally escorted him back, claiming the place was too small to accommodate such a formidable presence. Pray tell, is he not remarkable? After all, he belongs to the special forces. Lin Rui's lips twitched, startled by the gravity of the situation, and thought something dire had transpired. However, even Lin Hui was astonished by his own actions this time. Overcoming a regular army would be one thing, but the special forces represent the pinnacle of infantry prowess. Lin Hui single-handedly challenged them and left them utterly bewildered. Such prowess can only be described as monstrous. How could he have transformed into such a formidable force in such a brief span since joining the military? Strong enough that even his elder brother could hardly recognize him. Taking a deep breath, he inquired, since he does not wish to join the special forces, should we consider bringing him back? Lin Guangyao pondered for a moment before waving his hand dismissively. No need, no need. His reluctance to join the special forces and desire to return indicates a genuine attachment to his old unit. Let him remain there peacefully. Lin Rui nodded in agreement, recognizing the truth in that sentiment. Lin Hui was indeed sentimental. This had been evident when he was transferred from the production base. This reflects the profound influence the military has had on him. Just as Lin Rui was about to return to his quarters, Lin Guangyao quickly grabbed him, whispering, "Wait. If your mother inquires about this, please do not divulge anything." Lin Rui was taken aback. Why is that? His mother had been closely monitoring Lin Hui's situation in the military. Wouldn't it be pleasant for her to know and feel joy? Lin Guangyao's face flushed with embarrassment. She has approached me several times, hoping to arrange for Xiao Hui's early discharge. I've managed to placate her each time, but if you inform her of this, Lin Rui immediately understood, giving a wry smile. If mother finds out, she will certainly confront you. There was no avoiding it. Lin Guangyao sighed. Indeed, I was the one who insisted Lin Hui enlist, but now he has his own aspirations. If he wishes to stay in the military, I must be prepared to support him. As for your mother, I shall endure a few more of her scoldings if need be. Lin Rui shook his head with a bittersweet smile. For now, that seems to be the only course. The following morning, in the conference room at the regiment headquarters, all officers of company rank and above were present. Zhou Zhongyi surveyed the assembly, his demeanor serious. "I bring good news to all. We have received a new mission." Upon hearing of the new task, everyone straightened up, excitement coursing through the room. For them, having a mission meant an opportunity to showcase their merits. Zhou Zhongyi smiled slightly. "The higher-ups have tasked us to participate in the triannual cross-theater exchange exercises. This time, our opponent will be the Southeast Theater. It is a contest between armies, and we shall once again represent the red team." A murmur of surprise rippled through the crowd as they began to whisper amongst themselves. How could they be included in an exercise of such magnitude? This was a confrontation between theaters. Any slight misstep could spell disaster. Surely, such an event should not fall to them, given their relatively modest strength. In stark contrast to their apprehension and skepticism, Lin Hui could hardly contain his excitement. Almost unable to remain seated, he grasped the intent behind this arrangement, an opportunity to observe whether the Tiger Regiment could truly demonstrate its resilience under extraordinary circumstances. Lin Hui felt a surge of excitement within him. His elder brother was stationed in the Southeast Theater. He wondered if fate would allow their paths to cross. A smile tugged at the corners of his mouth, heightening his anticipation. Zhou Zhongyi let out a cold snort. "What is the matter? Are you afraid? Do you think we are incapable and unwilling to accept this challenge?" The atmosphere fell silent, leaving everyone momentarily speechless. Zhou Zhongyi continued in a stern tone. "Let me make this clear. Our superiors have entrusted us with participating in such a large-scale exercise, which affirms our capabilities. Moreover, if we perform well this time, we will become a focal point of attention within the theater, resulting in fewer personnel reductions. In other words, if we excel, we shall have everything we desire." A fierce determination ignited in the eyes of everyone present. Their relentless efforts stemmed from a desire to see their old unit thrive. Now presented with this opportunity, they were compelled to seize it. Zhou Zhongyi loudly inquired if they had confidence. "Yes," the crowd roared in response. Zhou Zhongyi nodded with satisfaction. "Since you possess confidence, I expect you to train diligently over the next month. Show your true abilities during the exercise and let the Southeast Theater know that our Southwest Theater boasts a steel tiger. Yes, everyone replied, their eyes filled with anticipation. The fiercer they fought, the stronger they became, the greater their reputation, and the more they would gain. Revitalizing their old unit was indeed their duty. This time, it had to be a triumphant battle for the Tiger Regiment. Shortly thereafter, Zhou Zhongyi announced Lin Hui's appointment. The crowd was not surprised by his promotion to deputy company commander. After all, Lin Hui was not only a significant contributor, but had also secured an abundance of equipment for the unit. Such an accolade was entirely justified. However, it was unfortunate for the former deputy commander of the 6th Company, who returned from training only to find his home robbed, a most lamentable circumstance. As the meeting concluded, everyone began to disperse. Zhang Jiantao, clutching a notebook, had just exited the regiment headquarters when Lin Hui hurriedly caught up with him. Commander, Commander. Zhang Jiantao turned around, a cheerful smile adorning his face. Lin Hui, congratulations. You have become our 6th Company's deputy commander. Lin Hui grinned broadly. Thank you, thank you. He pulled Zhang Jiantao aside and, casting a furtive glance, asked, Commander, may I inquire about something? Why the secrecy? Speak up. You are my earliest commander and have known me the longest, so I wish to ask, what do you truly think of me? Zhang Jiantao smiled warmly. Lin Hui, you are the finest soldier I have ever encountered. Witnessing your journey from a rookie to achieving such success today fills me with pride as your commander. Lin Hui humbly replied, thank you for your kind words. Regarding the last exercise, when I led the entire regiment to ambush the Blue Army, what are your thoughts on that? Zhang Jiantao playfully punched Lin Hui on the chest, laughing, what is there to think? Our victory was largely thanks to you. You orchestrated the infiltration for the entire regiment, and it was you who safeguarded the Tiger Regiment. But seriously, what is it that you are so mysteriously hinting at? Commander, here's the thing. Lin Hui rubbed his hands together, wearing an innocent smile. As you witnessed from the last drill, it was fortunate that the commander entrusted the entire regiment to me, which allowed us to achieve commendable results. Therefore, my proposition is this. Since you acknowledge my capabilities, why not entrust the entire company to me while you take a well-deserved rest? Zhang Jiantao almost spat blood in disbelief. So all this time, you were plotting to undermine me? He pointed angrily at Lin Hui. Are you attempting to seize power while I am still here? You've skyrocketed from private to deputy company commander, which is already quite an elevation. Yet, you wish to usurp my position? What an audacious rebel you are. Lin Hui pulled him towards a corner, wary of passers-by who might disrupt his persuasive scheme. Zhang Jiantao swatted Lin Hui's hand away. Stop tugging at me like that. Speak plainly. If you expect me to relinquish command, the answer is a resounding no. With a cheerful demeanor, Lin Hui responded, Commander, you heard what the commander said in the meeting, right? You are well aware of the formidable adversaries we must face ahead. Zhang Jiantao grunted, turning his head away. Though he could not refute the truth, the Southeast War Zone received significantly higher equipment funding and was favored by headquarters. In contrast, their Southwest War Zone was flanked by 2 weaker nations, surrounded by dense jungles. In terms of troop development and military strength, they were considerably inferior. During previous years of friendly exchanges, the Southeast could dispatch a single division capable of challenging an entire army on their side. From equipment to troop quality and operational systems, the Southwest was simply no match. The memories of that brutal conflict still haunted Zhang Jiantao. Lin Hui inquired earnestly, Commander, do you believe we can win if we stick to conventional tactics? Zhang Jiantao was momentarily taken aback. Given the disparity between us and the enemy, victory seems impossible. Lin Hui pressed on. Take the last drill as an example. Wasn't the Blue Army as formidable as the Southeast? Were we not in the same disadvantaged position as the Red Team? If we do not swiftly enhance our capabilities, do you think we can triumph? Zhang Jiantao shook his head, knowing that strengthening their forces would not happen overnight, especially with only a month to prepare. Lin Hui exclaimed, then what's the solution? If it were you leading the team, would you be able to defeat the Blue Army? Zhang Jiantao awkwardly shook his head, realizing he had no effective strategies. Unlike Lin Hui, he could not conjure up devious and cunning tactics. Lin Hui fixed his gaze on him, speaking earnestly. Commander, if the circumstances are identical to last time, with the enemy being stronger than us, I will leave everything to you. Will you be able to showcase our regiment's utmost potential and lead us to victory in the drill? Zhang Jiantao's lips twitched, torn between frustration and reluctance. Yet he had no viable solutions, only able to shake his head in defeat. Lin Hui clapped his hands in excitement. This is why I am here to alleviate your burdens. If you grant me command, I will train our company diligently, enabling us to replicate our previous performance. Achieving great results would bring honor, would it not? Alas, I shall partake in your burdens. I shall endure the exhaustion of training alongside you. You shall handle the accolades and rewards. What a splendid arrangement. Zhang Jiantao found himself momentarily bewildered by such a declaration. Seizing the moment before he could regain his composure, Lin Hui grasped his hand firmly, gazing intently into his eyes, and earnestly declared, "Squad leader, my intentions are solely for the honor of our regiment. If the 6th Company excels, it shall elevate the entire regiment. The better we perform, the greater our funding, and the superior our equipment. Squad leader, do not hesitate. This is a remarkable opportunity." Zhang Jiantao, possessing a straightforward disposition, was ill-equipped to withstand Lin Hui's convoluted persuasion, and he was promptly led astray. Bewildered, he murmured, "Your words seem to hold some merit. Then, the 6th Company expresses its gratitude, squad leader." Before he could finish, Lin Hui swiftly saluted. Zhang Jiantao's eyelids twitched uncontrollably. He felt as if he had been ensnared, yet he could find no evidence to substantiate this feeling. Each of Lin Hui's statements was centered on the regiment, the 6th Company, and his own interests, delivered with genuine sincerity. Yet, an unsettling feeling lingered. Zhang Jiantao scratched his head, perplexed. In the afternoon, the 6th Company's training ground was fully assembled. Zhang Jiantao, hands clasped behind his back, approached. "Soon, our Southwest Theater will engage in a friendly exercise with the Southeast, encompassing an entire army. Our regiment will participate as the Red Force. To elevate your morale and combat effectiveness in the shortest time possible for the upcoming month, all training and management will be entrusted to Lin Hui, including myself. You are to follow his orders without question." Before he could finish his sentence, the crowd erupted into a fervor. "Rest assured, squad leader, we've long desired to heed his command." Zhang Jiantao's face turned ashen, akin to wax. "What a band of rebels. They are all eagerly awaiting my resignation, aren't they? At least show a modicum of humility. Such directness is rather hurtful." Clearing his throat, he called, "Lin Hui, step forward." "Yes." Lin Hui jogged out from the ranks, and the crowd immediately erupted into a fervent applause. The ovation nearly brought Zhang Jiantao to his knees. "Goodness, I am still here. Must they be so excessive? As for the newcomers, one could excuse them. But what of you seasoned veterans? Do you not see me, your diligent and devoted long-serving squad leader?" Beside him, Wang Hai shook his head, casting a sympathetic glance. "This squad leader's tenure has been utterly dismal." Lin Hui, beaming, waved to the crowd as though addressing esteemed guests. "As you are all aware, the details of the exercise have been shared. As in previous instances, the enemy is stronger while we are weaker. However, this does not signify our inevitable defeat. I ask you, do you possess confidence in this battle?" "Yes." The crowd responded with fervor. Wang Yong and Chun Eru were so overwhelmed with emotion they nearly wept. "Brother Hui, we believe in you. We shall follow your lead and ensure victory." Su De observed the spirited Lin Hui, a smile of satisfaction gracing his features as memories of the past flooded back to him. During the time in the recruit company, he had scolded Lin Hui, deeming him unworthy of being a soldier. However, after enduring numerous challenges, he grew significantly and ultimately ascended to the position of deputy squad leader. Time and again, he led them through adversity, securing victories and safeguarding the unit. In his lifetime, Su De felt an immense sense of pride and fulfillment for having nurtured a soldier like Lin Hui. At that moment, Lin Hui returned a smile to his squad leader. Noticing the insignia on Su Da's shoulder, it had been upgraded to that of a sergeant. Although he had not been promoted to an officer, this was sufficient to allow him to remain in the unit for another 5 years, continuing to shine and contribute. For a veteran who cherished the military, this was the greatest fortune. Lin Hui looked at the assembled soldiers and cheerfully declared, "Rest assured, as long as you are willing to trust me and comply with my arrangements, I shall certainly lead you to glorious victories. Regardless of whether our opponent is from the Southeast Theater or elsewhere, we must demonstrate our might. We cannot allow anyone to underestimate our Tiger Regiment or our elite 6th Company." Yes, the fervor surged among the soldiers, who felt an overwhelming urge to seize their weapons and charge into battle. Observing the heightened spirits of the crowd, Lin Hui smiled slightly and added, "However, the upcoming training will undoubtedly be exceptionally grueling, so you must prepare yourselves mentally." "Very well." Lin Hui cleared his throat. "Since everyone is ready, let us celebrate with a drink." The atmosphere fell into a stunned silence, as if a pause button had been pressed. Every individual was taken aback. "Drink? What drink? The battle hasn't even begun." Zhang Jiantao looked perplexed, his mouth agape as he stared at Lin Hui. "What on earth? Drink, drink, drink?" Chapter 138. Envy and Jealousy. Why is he the only one who can drink? All eyes were on Lin Hui, each face adorned with questions. Unable to restrain himself, Wang Yong spoke up. "Brother Hui, you're not pulling our leg, are you?" Lin Hui smiled gently. "The upcoming training will be quite arduous, so I thought it best to let you enjoy a hearty drink before we commence, to ease your minds and invigorate your spirits." Instantly, the crowd erupted in cheers, their joy akin to that of an impending festival. "Fantastic. We're drinking. Lin Hui is truly the best. We get to drink before the training." Deputy Squad Leader, Rest assured, with drinks in hand, we will train earnestly. Zhang Jiantao's expression soured. He quickly pulled Lin Hui aside. Anxious. Lin Hui, how can you act so recklessly? We are a full attendance unit. Without the explicit approval of our superiors, we cannot drink at all. Recklessly. Have you not seen me rallying the morale? Lin Hui rolled his eyes. Besides, previously, before going into battle, Hu Wunti have a couple of bowls to bolster their courage. Never mind. I will consult the commander. You take care of the food and drinks. Zhang Jiantao was left speechless, realizing he had become the errand boy. No, Lin Hui. You. Lin Hui turned to him. What are you hesitating for? You're not planning to backtrack, are you? You just said you'd hand over command to me. Now you want to renege? Zhang Jiantao's lips twitched, helplessly waving his hand. A promise is a promise. I'll abide by my word. Lin Hui grinned. Then it's settled. You all disperse and take a rest. He dismissed the troops and promptly set off towards the regiment's headquarters. Wang Hai approached Zhang Jiantao, letting out a sigh. Old Zhang, stop dawdling. I shall inform the kitchen. You take the others to procure some wine. Zhang Jiantao felt an overwhelming sense of frustration. As a distinguished company commander, how had he become a mere caretaker? Come in. Lin Hui pushed open the office door and saluted. Zhou Zhongyi, upon seeing him, rose with a beaming smile. Lin Hui, I was just about to seek you out. You must perform splendidly in this exercise. I have high hopes for you. Lin Hui replied with a grin. Commander, to be honest, the company commander holds me in high regard as well. He has already entrusted me with the command of the 6th Company, insisting that I take the lead, and I cannot refuse. Zhou Zhongyi paused momentarily before quickly grasping the implication. It seemed Zhang Jiantao had also fallen under Lin Hui's spell. This was splendid. He would not feel isolated in this endeavor. During the last exercise, Lin Hui had outmaneuvered him for command, and now the 6th Company was following suit. Excellent. Clearing his throat, Zhou Zhongyi remarked with a sense of gravitas. Zhang Jiantao is, after all, one of my soldiers, imbued with the same spirit as I, knowing well what matters most in the present moment. However, you indeed possess a unique capability in leading troops. I can entrust this task to you with confidence. What are your plans for enhancing their abilities over the next month? Lin Hui smiled broadly. I was just about to request your approval to take them out for some training. Zhou Zhongyi's eyes brightened. Another special training session? Lin Hui nodded. Last time, we conducted jungle survival training. This time, I plan to engage them in jungle combat training. Thus, the duration may be extended, and I hope for your approval. Approval? Of course. I wholeheartedly agree. Zhou Zhongyi nodded without hesitation. He had witnessed the results of the last intensive training. The entire Tiger Battalion had been transformed into fierce wolves under Lin Hui's guidance. How much further would they progress this time? Lin Hui quickly saluted. Thank you, Commander. I shall take my leave now. Just as he turned to exit, Zhou Zhongyi called him back. Wait. Commander, is there anything else? Zhou Zhongyi cleared his throat. This training must be conducted with discretion. You absolutely cannot run around in the nude. Even if, he lowered his voice, his face reddening. Even if you are in the nude, you must not approach inhabited areas. Last time, your training frightened the local villagers quite a bit. A group of naked soldiers running around at night. Who could bear such a sight? Lin Hui chuckled. I will certainly ensure we remain discreet this time, guaranteeing not to alarm the civilians. Zhou Zhongyi nodded. That's all. You may go. Lin Hui saluted once more, leaving with a cheerful demeanor. In the dining hall of the 6th Company, boxes of beer were swiftly delivered. Watching the soldiers of the 6th Company embrace the beer boxes, producing a delightful clinking sound. Soldiers from other companies could not help but gaze enviously, their throats involuntarily swallowing. In these times, it was rare to find a soldier not tempted by alcohol. Su Banzhong. What is going on? A curious soldier from the 1st Company approached, eyes fixated on the large green crates. Suda placed a box of beer on the table, grinning. Are you envious? The soldier swallowed hard, filled with envy. Of course, who wouldn't wish to indulge in a drink? However, it was neither a festive occasion nor a holiday. Did they not fear the repercussions of such a breach? Beside him, an older soldier proudly declared, this is a special authorization from our Deputy Company Commander Lin. We are about to undergo intensive training, and he advised us to enjoy a drink beforehand to boost our spirits for the upcoming drills. The soldier from Company 1 felt a surge of jealousy, his eyes glistening with longing. Look at that. All the officers. And yet none possess the audacity of Deputy Commander Lin. He truly understands how to care for his subordinates. He is nothing short of a living bodhisattva. Upon understanding the situation, the soldiers of Company 1 hastily returned to their barracks, where a throng of curious comrades gathered, eagerly questioning them. When they learned that Lin Hui had permitted Company 6 to drink freely before training, envy flooded their eyes. Soon, members of Company 2 rushed to the mess hall, inquisitive about the happenings. Soldiers from Companies 3, 4, 5, and 7 all came to inquire as well. As the news spread, the other company soldiers were consumed with envy and jealousy. Why does our company commander lack such generosity? They lamented. If only I were a soldier in Company 6. I could also partake in this revelry. Nonsense. You should say, if we all belonged to Company 6, then we would be fortunate indeed. Deputy Commander Lin is a great man, and following him guarantees no loss. Before long, this matter became the talk of the entire regiment, stirring a tumult of admiration and jealousy towards Company 6's privilege to drink. At the regiment's headquarters, Zhou Zhongyi was engrossed in a military report when, with a sudden bang, the door swung open. Several company commanders burst in, their faces alight with fury, startling him. What is the meaning of this? What are you doing? The commander of Company 1 demanded angrily. Commander, what are you going to do about Company 6? Zhou Zhongyi was taken aback, utterly confused. What do you mean? They are drinking. But we are a unit known for our discipline. How can they indulge in such behavior? It's outrageous, and they claim it was your approval. The company commanders vented their frustrations, leaving Zhou Zhongyi bewildered. Wait. Who authorized them to drink? I only approve their off-site training. What is going on here? As they glared at him, Zhou Zhongyi's heart sank as he began to piece together the situation. Internally, he cursed Lin Hui for his audacity in bypassing protocol. If you wish to drink, at least do so discreetly. Creating such a ruckus makes it impossible to maintain order. He straightened his uniform and solemnly assured them, rest assured, I will provide you with a satisfactory explanation regarding this matter. Thank you, Commander. They all saluted in unison. Zhou Zhongyi was momentarily flustered by their gratitude. Thank you for permitting us to drink with Company 6? The commander of Company 3 grinned. Zhou Zhongyi's irritation flared. Nonsense. When did I ever say such a thing? What do you take this unit for? We are a disciplined force, or do you not understand that? The commander of Company 1 quickly shot a glare at the commander of Company 3 and, rubbing his hands together, smiled at Zhou Zhongyi. Old 3, do you not know how to speak? We are not going to drink. Have you forgotten the ban on alcohol in the military? We were clearly there to discuss training matters with the 6th Company, striving for commendable results in the upcoming exercises. If thirst struck, we could simply pour ourselves a couple of cups, and after quenching our thirst, we would head straight to training. Indeed, our purpose was to train and achieve success. The other company commanders nodded in agreement, their faces blooming with smiles. Zhou Zhongyi's eyelids twitched uncontrollably. He realized that this group was not there to report on the 6th Company's drinking. They intended to join them and partake in the revelry. Chapter 139, Toppling an Entire Regiment with Drink. Zhou Zhongyi glared. After all this talk, you still wish to drink? Commander, when have we ever said such a thing? The 3rd Company commander quickly shook his head. You know Lin Hui's capabilities. With him leading the 6th Company in specialized training, their strength is bound to soar. If we do not keep pace, we will become a burden. He exchanged glances with the 1st Company commander, who promptly chimed in. Indeed, the last time. An entire regiment followed him for jungle survival training, resulting in significant progress. Our actions are aimed at enhancing our regiment. Others nodded in unison. Yes. Our regiment must grow stronger to achieve good results. Drinking is secondary. The main focus is on cohesion. Zhou Zhongyi's lips curled in frustration. He was utterly speechless. These rascals were willing to forsake their dignity just to drink. What kind of cohesion was this? Noticing his silence, the 3rd Company commander grew anxious and pressed on. Commander, just say one thing. Is our regiment important? If you think it is of no consequence, and losing is losing, then forget we ever approached you. Zhou Zhongyi's face flushed with anger. What? Without Lin Hui, you can no longer train? Everyone looked at him in unison and chuckled. Commander, that is not our intention. How about we train alongside you? Zhou Zhongyi was momentarily at a loss for words. Although he had climbed the ranks from the grassroots and had confidence in training. With only a month left, even if he were to burst from exertion, he couldn't produce remarkable results. Lin Hui, on the other hand, was different. His mind brimmed with endless ideas. Zhou Zhongyi was well aware of this. He took a deep breath and waved his hand in resignation. Fine. If you wish to go, then go. Thank you, Commander. Everyone saluted with smiles and turned to leave. Zhou Zhongyi immediately called them back. Wait. Drinking is one thing. But do exercise moderation. Also, tell that lad Lin Hui that with me at the regiment headquarters, he can unleash his full potential without worry. I will be the shield against any challenges he faces. Yes, let us go. In the 6th Company mess hall, everyone lifted their cups, downing the drinks with gusto. The sweet, refreshing beer flowed down their throats, and joyous smiles blossomed on each face. Refreshing, Lin Hui called out. Dig in, everyone. Today, the beer is plentiful. We shall not return until we are inebriated. Wang Yong, munching on ribs, gave a thumbs up. Indeed, Brother Hui is generous. He even provides us with drinks. What other company enjoys such treatment? You should have seen it earlier when we were moving the beer. The looks from the other companies were filled with envy and jealousy. Chun Eru, with frothy white beer adorning his lips, wore a grin as radiant as a blooming chrysanthemum. I can hardly recall the last time I indulged in alcohol. Hui Gu, you are truly a living bodhisattva. Laughter erupted among the group, their spirits soaring. In their disciplined unit, the consumption of alcohol was strictly prohibited except under special orders from higher-ups. This occasion, however, allowed them to revel heartily. Allow me to pour a round for everyone. To elevate the festivities, Chun Eru declared, brandishing a bottle of beer, just as he was about to perform a dramatic flourish. Suddenly, a boisterous throng stormed into the dining hall, led by the various company commanders. The soldiers of the 6th Company sensed the shift in atmosphere and paused, while Wang Yong nudged Chun Eru, prompting him to set down the bottle. What brings them here? Surely they aren't envious enough to stir up trouble? They wouldn't dare. The commander of the 3rd Company cast a cold glance over the revelers. Who authorized you to drink? Zhang Jiantao rushed forward to offer an explanation. But Lin Hui interjected, what is the matter? Our company is about to undergo special training. Is it not permissible to have a pre-training drink? Of course it is. The 3rd Company commander rubbed his hands together, a broad grin on his face. But you must include us. It wouldn't be fair to partake alone. Indeed, you must include us, echoed several other commanders, their eyes fixed hungrily on the drinks. Lin Hui smiled knowingly, recognizing their intent to join the festivities. Our company has received approval from the regiment commander. Without his orders, I cannot allow you to drink. That would breach discipline. A company commander playfully thumped Lin Hui on the chest, chuckling. Rest assured, if he hadn't approved, we wouldn't be here. We plan to train alongside you for the next month, following your lead just as before. Moreover, the regiment commander specifically instructed you to proceed without reservations, as he will remain stationed at the rear. Lin Hui laughed heartily. The regiment commander possesses great insight, recognizing my capabilities. Nearby, Zhang Jiantao simmered with a mix of envy and frustration. Was there truly no place for him in this affair? After all, he was also a company commander. Had the regiment commander forgotten about him entirely? He was the leader of the elite 6th Company, and yet the commander seemed to favor Lin Hui. Well, who can blame him for being talented? Lin Hui clapped his hands and cheerfully announced, since the regiment commander has given his blessing, let us all indulge together. Tonight, we shall not leave without a proper celebration. Go, bring all the drinks over, and if we run short, procure more. We must revel to our heart's content. In no time, soldiers from the other companies joined in the merriment. The dining hall buzzed with excitement, resembling a bustling market, as bodies pressed together in joyous chaos. The raucous noise echoed clearly even 100 meters away. In the distance, a patrol officer frowned, his expression sour. Do these rascals possess no sense of discipline? Openly drinking like this? Just as he was about to intervene, he was pulled back by a bystander. Enough. Their regiment commander has already given the go-ahead. They are preparing for a month of special training leading up to the exercises, ultimately for the glory of our battalion. Let it be. But no buts. The regiment commander has approved it. What business do we have meddling? Are we to arrest all the soldiers drinking? Fair point. 2 sentinels shook their heads and turned to walk in another direction. In the distance, in the corridor of the headquarters building, the chief of staff furrowed his brow, gazing intently. With merely a month left, how can they indulge in drink without prioritizing training? Old Zhou, what do you think Lin Hui intends to do? Zhou Zhongyi chuckled. Why? Are you worried about him? It would be strange if I were not. The chief of staff slammed his palm against the railing. During the last training, he vanished with an entire regiment, causing us great concern and even summoning the police. What sort of nonsense is that in the woods? Zhou Zhongyi replied cheerfully. Come now, let us not fret. We should just place our trust in him. The chief of staff remained silent. Although Lin Hui appeared unreliable, every action he took was for the benefit of the Tiger Regiment. Last time during the exercise, his ability to turn the tide with the entire regiment had already demonstrated his prowess. The chief of staff sighed, exasperated. This fellow is indeed a bit uncanny. I cannot see through him. Let him carry on. As long as it enhances the unit's combat effectiveness, victory is all that matters. Zhou Zhongyi nodded, his eyes gleaming with anticipation. I am eager to see what you plan to do this time. 2 hours later, the night had fully descended. The cafeteria was a mess, strewn with empty beer bottles. The larger the crowd, the easier it was for raucousness to ensue. Typically, everyone could manage 4 or 5 bottles. But this time they all consumed 8 or 9. A few with decent tolerance remained unfazed by beer, prompting Lin Hui to bring out the hard liquor. Mixing the two, even divine intervention would not suffice. Lin Hui stood up from his seat and stepped outside to stretch his neck, utterly unaffected by inebriation. Ding. Sobering ability 111. With the system in place, he could not get drunk at all. The more he drank, the stronger his sobering ability became, whether beer or spirits. It was akin to drinking water. At most, he would just make a few more trips to the restroom. He glanced back with a cold smirk. Look at you all, succumbing to your greed for drink. Soon, a group approached. Deputy Company Commander, we are ready. What are we waiting for? Let us proceed swiftly. The leader glanced at the disheveled crowd in the cafeteria, hesitatingly inquired, "Is this really a good idea?" Everyone is completely intoxicated. Lin Hui patted his shoulder, smiling. "Do not worry. I will take responsibility if anything goes awry. Go ahead, it's for their own good." The group exchanged glances, mischievously nodding, and charged into the cafeteria. Chapter 140. Have we time traveled? In the dead of night, all was silent. Two warm yellow lights illuminated the courtyard. Soon, a military jeep drove in, halting before a small villa. The city gate opened, and a young colonel adjusted his uniform as he disembarked from the vehicle. He bore a striking resemblance to Lin Hui, though his gaze was sharper and his physique more robust. His name was Lin Fan, Lin Hui's second elder brother, and he served as the commander of a composite brigade in the southeast region. In the second-floor bathroom, Lin Guangyao, clad in pajamas, was washing his face while gazing into the mirror. "Dad." Upon noticing a shadowy figure appear behind him, Lin Fan nearly had a heart attack. "You little rascal. How could you come in without making a sound? Don't you know that scaring someone can be fatal?" Lin Fan awkwardly chuckled. "How was I to know whether you were awake? I was merely trying not to disturb your rest." Lin Guangyao wiped the drool from his mouth, looking quite displeased. "What brings you back at this hour?" With a smile, Lin Fan replied, "It's been a while since I returned. I missed you and wanted to see you." "Enough of the small talk." Lin Guangyao rolled his eyes. "The moment you shift in your seat, I know exactly what you're about to say. Out with it. What is on your mind?" Lin Fan grinned. "I can't keep it from you any longer. Our military district is set to engage in an exchange exercise with the Southwest next month. Were you aware of this?" Lin Guangyao's eyes twitched, his expression one of disbelief. "You come back in the dead of night just to tell me this? Do you think I'm just a figurehead as your commander?" Lin Fan laughed. "You surely don't know yet. Old Third is involved this time." "Really?" Lin Guangyao was momentarily taken aback and suspiciously inquired, "Are you certain?" Lin Fan nodded vigorously. "Absolutely certain. There was a meeting today where they detailed the situation on the opposing side. Initially, the Red Army comprised 1 division and 2 brigades. Now, inexplicably, another unit has been added. Upon closer inspection, it turned out to be the Tiger Regiment, the one Old Third is in." Lin Guangyao's expression shifted to one of deep perplexity. How strange. What could be the purpose behind such an arrangement? The Red Army is already at a disadvantage, both in terms of equipment and strategy, compared to us. The Tiger Regiment has just managed to hold its ground, and yet Su Qianshan has allowed them to participate. Isn't this merely compounding their weaknesses and diminishing their chances of success? Lin Fan cautiously asked, "Dad, what I mean is, if we do encounter them, should I perhaps ease up a bit, let them have some leeway, so Old Third can earn some merit? He was just promoted to second lieutenant not long ago, and I haven't seen him in ages. Consider it a special concession, otherwise, he might forget he even has an older brother." He wore an awkward smile, filled with a hint of bitterness. His elder brother occasionally returned home, and at least he had seen Lin Hui recently. But Lin Fan, as the second brother, had remained stationed in the army, rarely returning. Even the old man hardly saw him throughout the year, and it had been over 2 years since he last met Lin Hui. He had heard that Lin Hui had improved and excelled, and Lin Fan felt a sense of pride and joy for him. Hence, he pondered whether to show some leniency during the exercise. Of course, this was contingent upon not affecting the course of the battlefield or delaying any strategic opportunities. The Blue Army must win, without a doubt. Lin Guangyao glared at him fiercely. "Ease up. What have I taught you? Have you forgotten your duties as a soldier? It is all about obeying orders. Is this military unit yours, or is it mine? Warfare is warfare. The only way to truly care for him is to fight hard. If you encounter him on the battlefield, your brigade must not ease up. Instead, you must focus your efforts on him." Lin Fan's expression resembled that of a frostbitten eggplant. "Dad, they are already weak enough. Aren't you pushing the third one to his limits?" Lin Guangyao scoffed. "I want him to understand the brutality of war. I want him to realize that his little cleverness is of no use in a large-scale conflict. Only through harsh lessons can he truly grow." Lin Fan was utterly speechless. He even doubted whether the third brother was truly his father's biological child, given the severity of his father's methods. He regretted returning. Had he known, he wouldn't have informed his father and would have discreetly held back during the drills. What if this left a psychological scar on his brother and caused him to become withdrawn? Wasn't this forcing him into a conflict with the third brother? Lin Guangyao coldly warned, "I advise you, if I find out you held back during the drills, not focusing your attacks on them. Just wait and see how I deal with you." Lin Fan shivered at the threat and helplessly nodded. "Understood, Dad." He sighed internally. "Oh, little brother. It's not that I don't want to help you. It's that I truly cannot assist you. In the drills, may you fend for yourself. Let's hope we do not cross paths." With no further words, he bid farewell and turned to leave. In the dim light of the restroom, a cold smile crept across Lin Guangyao's face. "Xiao Hui, those past skirmishes were mere trifles. This grand drill will truly reveal to you what exceptional troops are like." On a narrow mountain road, trucks sped by. Lin Hui sat in the passenger seat, glancing back with a mischievous grin. Inside the jostling cargo area, the air was thick with the scent of alcohol. Everyone was huddled together, snoring thunderously, showing no signs of waking. Don't run, big chicken leg. Chun Eru licked his lips and playfully slapped Wang Yong's face. Wang Yong scratched his face, still believing he was dreaming, and simply rolled over, wrapping his arms around Chun Eru to continue his slumber. 2 hours later, deep within the dense jungle, Chun Eru furrowed his brow, suddenly feeling the urge to relieve himself. Groggily, he climbed to his feet and, following his usual routine, stumbled a few steps forward to the toilet. After lowering his trousers and closing his eyes, he began to relieve himself against a tree. Wang Yong, leaning against a tree, felt raindrops hitting his face. Groggily opening his eyes, he was startled to see a large figure urinating towards him. What the hell? He was jolted awake, and in that instant, he inadvertently swallowed some of the stream. Chun Eru, startled, immediately stopped, hastily retreating and pointing in fear. Wang Yong, why are you so perverted? I'm here urinating, and you come over to drink it? Wang Yong spat repeatedly, leaping up in anger. Damn it. Who would want to drink that? Are you serious? I was lying down and sleeping. And you're aiming at my face. Ugh, that's just disgusting. This is virgin urine. It can cure all ailments. Chun Eru retorted. To hell with that. Cure all ailments. Both of them, in a frenzy, were about to brawl when they suddenly froze. A few small birds chirped as they flew overhead. Gazing at the towering trees and dense foliage surrounding them, they were both left utterly dumbfounded. Wang Yong's eyes nearly bulged out of their sockets, his expression akin to that of someone who had seen a ghost. Who? Weren't we just drinking in the cafeteria? How on earth did we end up here? Where exactly is this? Chun Eru was taken aback, visibly distressed. We're done for. We must have time traveled. Chapter 141. We must be fierce to unleash our potential. Wang Yong surveyed the towering trees that obscured the sky, utterly bewildered. Just moments ago, they had been in the cafeteria drinking. How had they suddenly arrived in this place? Could it be that they had truly traveled through time? With a series of sharp slaps to his own face, he winced in pain, his teeth almost chattering from the force. Chun Eru, seeing this, panicked. Wang Yong, don't frighten me. Why are you resorting to self-harm? Before he could finish, Wang Yong delivered a resounding slap to Chun Eru's face. The latter instinctively covered his stinging cheek, jumping up in outrage. You can hit yourself, but why strike me? Wang Yong, with a dazed expression, queried, does it hurt? Of course it hurts. Chun Eru retorted, exasperated. Grabbing Chun Eru's arm with fervor, Wang Yong exclaimed, if it hurts, it means this isn't a dream. Since it's not a dream, how did we end up here? We must have genuinely time traveled. Quick, let us rouse the others. The two hurriedly approached their companions, who were still deep in slumber, and shook them awake. Wang Yong perched atop Zhang Jiantao's face, delivering several sharp slaps. Squad leader, wake up. Stop sleeping. We've been abducted by aliens. Zhang Jiantao, still inebriated, opened his eyes groggily, unaware of the slaps he had just received. What is going on? Aliens? Wang Yong urged. Squad leader, take a look at our surroundings. Zhang Jiantao glanced around, his previously half-closed eyes widening in shock. What on earth? Where are we? How did I get here? Wang Yong shook his head. I have no idea. I just woke up here. Before long, all the others were awakened one by one, many still in a daze, unable to discern whether they were in reality or a dream. After a significant while, as everyone regained their senses and comprehended their surroundings, they were left utterly flabbergasted. What the hell? Weren't we drinking? Where are we? What on earth is happening? A kilometer away, behind a thicket, Lin Hui listened to the commotion and turned to glance, a smile creeping across his lips. These fellows have finally awakened, sleeping like dead pigs, completely oblivious to their predicament. A group of individuals from the transport team stood opposite him, their leading officer expressing concern. Deputy Squad Leader Lin, won't this cause any issues? Lin Hui waved dismissively. It's fine. It's fine. They have experience. No need to worry about them. You can return. The transport team exchanged worried glances. Are you sure it won't cause any problems tossing this many people into the deep woods with nothing? Lin Hui, with a cheerful demeanor, replied. You all head back and be sure to inform the regiment commander. Let him know not to worry. Though still slightly apprehensive, they were not combat troops and lacked knowledge about training. Perhaps this was simply how they conducted their exercises. The transport team offered a respectful salute to Lin Hui before driving away. Lin Hui watched them depart, then turned to head toward the source of the commotion. In the forest, chaos reigned. Everyone was chattering incessantly, resembling startled sparrows. Upon seeing Lin Hui approach, they immediately rallied with renewed energy, as if they had spotted their guiding star. Zhang Jiantao and several company commanders swiftly surrounded him, bombarding him with questions. Lin Hui, what on earth is happening? How did we end up here? Lin Hui smiled faintly and inquired, is everyone sober now? The group nodded and shook their heads in unison. Most had regained their senses, yet some still drooped with half-closed eyelids, appearing distinctly dazed. Although the beer had a low alcohol content, the quantity consumed had been substantial. Moreover, fearing they might not be intoxicated enough, Lin Hui had procured numerous boxes of erguo to mix with the beer. Even a celestial being would struggle under such circumstances, let alone them. At this moment, many felt parched and even experienced a burning sensation in their chests. Suda rubbed his heavy head, remarking, "It hurts a bit, and I feel dizzy." Lin Hui chuckled. "A headache and dizziness are precisely the signs that you didn't drink in vain yesterday." Suda, puzzled, asked, "What do you mean? Did we drink counterfeit liquor?" The others looked equally bewildered. "Lin Hui, what exactly are you trying to say?" Lin Hui's demeanor shifted to seriousness as he stated, "Did you truly believe this alcohol was so delightful? War could erupt at any moment, and as soldiers, you must maintain peak combat readiness under all circumstances. Yet look at yourselves, staggering and barely able to stand. How can you fight like this? I brought you here, and you exhibited no vigilance at all. If I were the enemy, your heads would be rolling." A chill ran through everyone as they began to grasp the gravity of the situation. This was no mere drinking episode. It was clearly a trap. However, they remained in the dark about Lin Hui's true intentions. One thing was certain, it boded ill. They all stepped back cautiously, eyeing Lin Hui as if he were a thief, fearful he might betray them. Lin Hui flashed a mischievous grin. "Fear not. I am no villain and will not harm you." Zhang Jiantao's face flushed with embarrassment, feeling an eerie familiarity with those words, much like the villains from movies who threaten innocent maidens. He quickly asked, "Lin Hui, what is your purpose in bringing us here?" Lin Hui regarded him with a calm expression and replied, "Training, of course. Human trafficking is illegal. This location is quite secure. The nearest village is 50 to 60 kilometers away. Here, no matter how reckless you behave, you will not be seen." The group was nearly driven to exasperation. Previously, they had at least received a first aid kit, but now they found themselves utterly unprepared, cast into such a remote area devoid of any signs of life. Was this what he termed safety? If trouble arose, they would be utterly helpless. Judging by Lin Hui's demeanor, it was clear this training would be exceedingly rigorous. Lin Hui smiled warmly and said, "However, there is no need for everyone to worry. I have discreetly hidden 100 portions of rations throughout the forest. Each portion is sufficient to sustain a normal individual for 3 days of physical exertion. Those who wish to eat must bring forth all their skills." Wang Yong, confused, inquired, "Brother Hui, what does this mean? I don't understand. With so many of us, 100 portions won't be enough." Lin Hui replied with a slight smile, "Indeed, it is insufficient. Therefore, starting now, you must find your companions and form combat teams. Without any weapons, you will rely on your fists, heads, and even teeth to conquer your opponents. Those who prevail shall have their fill, as there are only 100 portions available. First come, first served." Naturally, Lin Hui did not finish his sentence, but a chilling smile spread across his face, causing everyone to shudder, their spines prickling with unease. Having known Lin Hui for so long, they were all too aware of his tendencies. It was clear that a significant challenge awaited them. Lin Hui clapped his hands and urged, "What are you still dawdling for? Hurry up and find your teams." A group of individuals, as if herded like ducks, suddenly snapped to attention and dashed into the forest, grumbling as they ran. "This guy must be a bit unhinged. I suspect he is a psychopath. He is trying to lead us to our doom. How could we turn against our own?" Watching as the crowd vanished into the thicket, Lin Hui narrowed his eyes. To cultivate combat effectiveness, he knew he had to present them with a formidable challenge. Only when pushed to the brink could one truly unleash their full potential. Lin Hui smiled faintly. "This time, I shall draw out all your latent capabilities, ensuring we have a solid chance at victory." With that, he strode purposefully into the woods. Chapter 142. The enemy is not only themselves, but also me. Everyone rushed into the forest with great fervor. The distance between them was not too great, and soon, groups began to form alliances. Typically, they consisted of 2 to 3 members. Lin Hui had mentioned that the rations were only enough for adults to sustain themselves for 3 days, conveniently allowing 2 to 3 individuals to share for a day. "Xiao Su, come with me. You're quick on your feet." "Old Zhu, I'll stick with you." Third squad leader, "Let us team up." Wang Yong and Chun Eru flanked Suda, sandwiching him like a pancake. Suda glanced around warily and asked, "What are you up to?" Wang Yong chuckled, "Squad leader. Let us form a trio. The 3 of us are solid, and others 1T stand a chance against us." Suda eyed them suspiciously and replied, "I'll agree to join, but you 2 had better not hold me back. I barely ate anything last night after all that drinking. Don't worry, with us, you'll be fine." As Chun Eru ran, his stomach churned uncomfortably, and he suddenly vomited, creating a fountain of mess before him. The acrid scent wafted through the air, prompting Suda to cover his nose and turn his head in disgust. Chun Eru wiped his mouth and sighed. "I still had some food in my stomach, but now it's all gone." If I had known, I wouldn't have drunk so much last night. It feels like my stomach is on fire. Wang Yong glanced at the ground and grinned mischievously. What are you afraid of? It's your own vomit after all. If you get desperate and find nothing to eat later, you can always come back and feed it. Chun Eru turned to look at the large puddle on the ground and smacked his forehead. Why didn't I think of that? If I really get too hungry, I might consider it. But I must make it clear, neither of you is allowed to snatch it from me. Ugh. Suda, leaning against a tree, couldn't hold back and retched violently. The force of it was so great that it resembled a water jet. Wang Yong shook his head in mock sympathy. Class leader. We just finished talking about it, and now you've vomited too. What a waste. Suda wiped his mouth and glared fiercely at him. You two are so disgusting. How could I not throw up? I hardly ate anything as it is. I warn you, you must follow my orders later and refrain from acting recklessly, understood? Wang Yong chuckled. No problem, no problem. After all, you are the class leader. Chun Eru, with a foolish expression, asked, Class leader, if an unexpected situation arises, can we make some small innovations? I don't want to have everything I don't want taken by others. Suda waved his hand dismissively. Innovate? Don't concern yourself with anything else. Just follow my commands. The two nodded helplessly and followed him deeper into the woods. Soon, others formed their own groups as well. Several squad leaders spontaneously gathered together. Zhang Jiantao waved at the others. Right now, it's every man for himself. There's no such thing as squad leaders. It's all about who can grab the goods first. The others beamed with excitement. So we can beat you up later? Zhang Jiantao glared. And the other squad leaders immediately stared back menacingly. Dare you? When we fight, we are squad leaders, and afterward, we'll put you in confinement. Truly shameless. Everyone inwardly cursed and rolled their eyes. In a short while, they all formed teams and rushed into the forest en masse. Lin Hui watched from a distance, a wicked smile curving his lips. Do you really think I would make it so easy for you to find food? Then I wouldn't be myself. With that, he swiftly dashed into the woods. In the dense thicket, everyone scattered like a fishing net, occupying various positions. They left no stone unturned. Bushes, grass nests, caves, and even beneath rocks. Wang Yong squatted down and picked up a broken branch, declaring confidently, I bet food must be nearby. Given Brother Hui's nature, he would definitely leave some clues for us to follow. He wouldn't truly let us go hungry. Chen Era nodded seriously. You make a good point. But where is it? Wang Yong smiled awkwardly. I can never fathom Brother Hui's mind. I don't know where it is either. I have a clue. Not far away, Suda waved at them. Indeed, he had discovered some traces on the ground. Suda crouched down, his eyes sharp as a hawk. The grass shows signs of having been trampled, and there's a shallow footprint ahead. It must be just up ahead. Follow me. The two nodded and quickly followed him forward. However, upon arriving at the spot, they found someone had beaten them to it. Moreover, the person was already eagerly rummaging through what appeared to be a tree hole, seemingly having made a discovery. Wang Yong shouted in panic, That's ours. The squad leader Lu glanced back with his two companions and snorted, First come, first served. We discovered it first, so it's ours. Su Da's face flushed with anger. After tracing the clues with great difficulty, he was frustrated to find that others had arrived ahead of him. Glancing at Wang Yong and the others, he coldly commanded, Go. In an instant, the two charged forward like ferocious hounds, shouting, Mine, mine, mine. The group facing them turned in surprise at the sight of the two soaring through the air like rabid dogs. Bang, bang, bang. Fists and feet were thrown at them. Yet, having come from a background of pig farming, the two possessed considerable strength. Moreover, after training under Lin Hui for so long, their power was unmatched. They absorbed a few hits without flinching and retaliated fiercely, knocking their opponents to the ground. Su De seized the moment, sprinting forward with agility. The squad leader Lu was taken aback. He was no match for Su De and hastily retreated, clutching the plastic container filled with food. Old Su, we are comrades. Let us not turn against each other. I found these first. Before he could finish, Su De lunged, delivering a punch to Lu's face. Lu was sent flying backward, sliding several meters along the grass. Su De approached, snatching the container from his grasp, and grinned. Squad leader Lu, we are enemies now. Why would I waste words on an adversary? Damn it, I'm bleeding. You're serious? Lu exclaimed, getting up and touching his damp nose, his face paling. Retreat. Wang Yong and Chun Eru, having secured their prize, scrambled to their feet and fled. Su De looked into the transparent plastic container, finding powdery contents, likely fried noodles. Though it appeared scant, it could be mixed with water and sustain them for a couple of days. Cradling the prize, he turned to leave when suddenly, a figure descended from a tree and landed before him. Lin Hui flashed a grin. What do you want? Before Su De could respond, Lin Hui waved his hand, sending the plastic container flying from Su Da's grip. It tumbled through the air and crashed to the ground, scattering the powdery food everywhere. Chun Eru and Wang Yong were left dumbfounded, and upon regaining their senses, they erupted in anger. Damn it. Brother Hui, you're cheating. We worked hard to get that. Suda was bewildered. Lin Hui, what are you doing? Lin Hui smiled slightly and replied, this is a time of battle. Vigilance is key. Your enemies aren't just them. I could be one too. Consider this a lesson. Next time, don't assume you're safe just because you've snagged something. With that, he turned and walked away, leaving Suda and his companions in a state of shock. Can it really be like this? The trio of Captain Liu got to their feet and spat in their direction. Huh? You were so smug, thinking you could snatch from us. You deserve this. With a shared glance, they charged forward, like hungry dogs pouncing on the spilled powder. Though much had fallen to the ground, some areas were still thickly piled and edible. As long as it does not touch the ground, it is acceptable. Consume as much as one can. Replenishing energy is all that matters, for they are indifferent. My goodness, you are like dogs. By the time Suda and the others rushed over in exasperation, the edible remnants on the ground had nearly been devoured by those few. Chun Eru gazed at the puddle of saliva-covered remnants and inquired, is this still fit for consumption? Consume what? It's all saliva. Suda retorted, his eyes blazing with fury. That Lin Hui is truly insidious, failing to clarify things from the outset. How did I end up with such a morally reprehensible companion? Come on, let us seize from others. The two glanced at the food on the ground, shaking their heads in disappointment. Brother Hui is too cruel. This is beyond inhumane. Not far away, Zhang Jiantao and his group had struggled valiantly to subdue a crowd and had managed to procure a portion of rations. Just as they were about to retreat with excitement, Lin Hui obstructed their path. Commander, where are you headed? Zhang Jiantao, clutching the food, retreated in terror. Lin Hui, what are you planning? Please, don't act recklessly. We fought hard for this. In 2 swift steps, Lin Hui approached, his right hand swiftly extracting something. With a loud clap, he sent the box flying, crashing against a nearby tree and shattering into pieces. The contents spilled out, scattered by a gust of wind. By the time Zhang Jiantao and his companions regained their senses, Lin Hui had already fled, calling back, sorry, Commander, but I'm doing this for your own good. Staring at the powdered remnants strewn across the ground, Zhang Jiantao felt as if he would spit blood in anger. You wretched creature, I am your commander. It's one thing to mess with others, but to ruin my share as well? You scoundrel. Soon, chaos erupted in various locations. To secure the scant provisions, groups engaged in fierce combat, the battles proving to be exceptionally brutal. As the day drew to a close, of the 100 portions of rations, merely 20 or so were genuinely secured, and these were the result of hard-earned lessons learned through repeated failures. Once they seized the supplies, lingering was not an option. They had to flee with all their might. Otherwise, they would be pursued like famished wolves, all while remaining vigilant against Lin Hui's ambushes. As night fell, the forest was enveloped in silence, save for the chirping of insects. Lin Hui understood that whether they had secured food or not, everyone had found a hiding place. The daytime skirmishes had been too intense, leaving everyone utterly exhausted. It was now a time for recuperation. Perched like an owl on a tree, Lin Hui's eyes sparkled with amusement. This kind of training is a splendid beginning. What lies ahead is bound to be even more intriguing. Chapter 143. Forcing people into monkeys in the blink of an eye. Half a month had passed. In the regiment office, Zhou Zhongyi spoke on the phone, his face beaming with joy. Commander, rest assured, this exercise will be flawless. Our regiment's morale is soaring. They would forego food and sleep if it meant training every day. We are all eager to achieve remarkable results and bring glory to our 602. Lu Qingsong nodded in satisfaction. With such enthusiasm, I can rest easy. The scale of this exercise is grand. Whatever you desire, the division will provide it. I have but one request. Victory must be ours. Ensure the mission is accomplished. Zhou Zhongyi chuckled heartily as he hung up the phone, nearly etching the word pride upon his visage. He turned to the chief of staff beside him, grinning as he said, look at that. Did you hear what the commander just said? Whatever we want, we shall receive. When has the commander ever been this generous with us? The chief of staff, furrowing his brow, replied, Old Zhou, the commander's generosity is indeed commendable. But what you just stated is pure nonsense. We haven't even seen a soul, yet you speak of the entire regiment being filled with enthusiasm. This is nothing short of a fool's errand. Zhou Zhongyi suddenly came to a realization, his expression turning blank. Is that truly the case? He had indeed been caught up in the moment. When the commander called to inquire about the situation, he couldn't possibly respond with ignorance, could he? The fact that the entire regiment had been taken out for training by Lin Hui was something he could not disclose. If the commander were to learn of this, he would undoubtedly be furious. Lost in boasting, he had let his guard down. Zhou Zhongyi scratched his head, momentarily dazed before turning to glare at the chief of staff. Why didn't you stop me? If the commander finds out I deceived him, it would be disastrous. The chief of staff, with a wry smile, retorted. When you were bragging just now, why didn't you express such concern? He waved his hand dismissively. Enough of that. It's not a grave matter. You know Lin Hui's capabilities. He will certainly manage the training without issue. Have you forgotten how he took the troops into the woods for a month and returned with them all as fierce as wolf cubs? Zhou Zhongyi nodded. Reflecting on this and coming to agree, Lin Hui was indeed extraordinary. His training methods would yield results. The success of their previous exercise was the best testament to that. Slapping the table, he raised his voice a notch. Then why did you say all that earlier? You nearly startled me. Come on. Let us call that fellow and find out how things are progressing. I'm eager to see the results. The chief of staff, exasperated, stood up, muttering, "What a misfortune it is to serve as your chief of staff." In the depths of the jungle, two dark heads cautiously emerged from behind a bush. Their eyes, akin to famished wolves, fixated hungrily on a large bun resting in an open clearing not far away, and they swallowed hard. After a brief observation, they exchanged glances and slowly retreated their heads. Wang Yong signaled behind him, and the surrounding grass came to life, shifting in unison. A total of 7 or 8 clumps of grass formed a circle. Go. With that command, they sprang forth like cheetahs, dashing towards the bun. Just as they reached a mere meter or two from it, they all abruptly halted, confirming there were no dangers or traps before swiftly retreating. Simultaneously, Wang Yong and Chun Eru leapt to their feet, seizing the prepared sticks and striking at suspicious spots in the forest where someone might be hiding. Whoosh! At the moment the sticks were hurled, the two dashed out like lightning. Wang Yong lunged forward, grasping the bun and turning to flee. With a sudden thud, a vast net sprang up from the ground, ensnaring him and dangling him from a tree. Wang Yong, quick-witted and agile, took a hefty bite of his steamed bun and swiftly discarded the remainder. Chun Eru caught it with the deftness of a baseball player, not pausing for a moment before sprinting away. In no time, everyone had vanished without a trace. Lin Hui emerged from behind a tree, hands clasped behind his back. Wang Yong, cheeks puffed up like a bullfrog, desperately swallowed his mouthful. Brother Hui, even if you beat me to death today, I will not divulge anything. I've already consumed what I have. Well, it seems you've been learning to be clever lately, Lin Hui remarked with a smile, observing him closely. You even know how to coordinate and cover during an offensive. It appears you have indeed made progress, mastering these little tactics. Wang Yong glared at him in frustration. I assent it because you've pushed us to the brink, driving us like dogs every day? How could I not be on my toes? During this period, under Lin Hui's deliberate interference, the animosities between various groups intensified. After the 100 rations were exhausted, he scattered ample food throughout the forest and set up traps around the vicinity. The sight of food made each group's eyes gleam with greed. To seize the provisions, they first had to eliminate their rivals. Yet, after exhausting all their efforts, believing they could finally secure some food, they discovered traps awaited them. For several consecutive days, numerous groups, drained of their energy, found themselves ensnared by Lin Hui instead of feasting. Even more infuriating was witnessing him consume the very food they coveted in front of them. He even imposed a punishment of 1,000 push-ups as a penalty. Not only were they deprived of sustenance, but they also faced physical punishment, prompting them to curse Lin Hui's ancestors daily. Under such high-pressure conditions, everyone was pushed to their limits. Concepts of collaborative tactics, enemy baiting techniques, and coordinated offensive strategies emerged organically without the need for instruction. Lin Hui, observing Wang Yong swaying from the tree, inquired with a grin, "So, will you hang here for a day, or do 1,000 push-ups?" "Push-ups? Only a fool would choose to hang for a day," Wang Yong declared without hesitation. Having just consumed half a bun, he had replenished some energy. Performing push-ups should pose no challenge. Once completed, he could continue searching for additional food to regain more strength. Lin Hui severed the vines, releasing him from the tree. Without a word, Wang Yong huffed and began his push-ups, clearly accustomed to such penalties. "Do it well," Lin Hui called as he turned to walk in another direction. In the following days, everyone grew more astute. Their reactions, speed, and tactical coordination became increasingly harmonious. Previous training had made them appear as if they had long dwelled in the jungle. Now, they resembled individuals who had been raised among the trees since childhood, each one more cunning than a monkey. Even if they encountered special forces in the forest, these individuals would undoubtedly prevail against them. Lin Hui reflected deeply. Humanity must embrace such moments. Only when pushed to the brink can one truly unleash boundless potential. He unfurled a map upon the ground, measuring the distance with his hand. Unbeknownst to them, they had traversed 300 to 400 kilometers over the past few days. As they drew near the border, it was nearly time to return. Just as Lin Hui was folding the map, the single soldier radio on his person crackled to life. Could it be the commander reaching out to him? This radio was their sole means of communication with the regiment. After such a prolonged silence, the commander must have been anxious. With a smile, Lin Hui picked up the radio, but his expression swiftly changed as he listened. Chapter 144. Our Land. Not an inch to yield. Lin Hui quickly adjusted the channel, pressing the radio to his ear. Soon, A voice emerged, clear and urgent. Report, report. Emergency situation. A small group of monkey soldiers has crossed the 328 zone for reconnaissance. There are also numerous monkey soldiers active on the opposite side, likely seeking to provide reinforcement. Instantly, Lin Hui's demeanor turned serious, a frost settling upon his face. These monkey soldiers had dared to rise again, just decades prior. They had been vanquished, their economy regressing a decade. Did these ingrates believe that time had restored their strength? Shortly thereafter, another authoritative voice resonated. Maintain strict surveillance on them. All troops advance. We must secure every defense line. Remember, our territory is inviolable. Understood. I will report to higher command immediately and request reinforcements. Affirmative. The call concluded promptly. Lin Hui retrieved the radio, his brow furrowed in contemplation. He was acutely aware that the 328 area lay less than 60 kilometers away. Prior to this training, he had familiarized himself with the local conditions, knowing that only 2 companies of border guards were stationed there. By the time reinforcements arrived, it would undoubtedly be too late. It would be far more prudent for him to lead his men there at once. Lin Hui mused to himself. This presents a remarkable opportunity for growth. In the forest, no matter how advanced the training, it merely simulates real combat. The effectiveness of actual warfare is unparalleled. Only through bloodshed can a soldier truly evolve. Consider the predecessors who crossed the Yangtze River and defeated the most formidable forces of their time. Their victories stemmed from rich combat experience gained through countless battles. Although we have enjoyed an extended period of peace, it does not imply that war will not return. The military reforms and continuous exercises are all aimed at enhancing combat readiness. Only in this manner can they safeguard the nation and protect the people when the day of conflict arrives. In times of peace, such confrontations are rare. Perhaps special forces might encounter them, but conventional soldiers may never face such realities in their lifetimes. It is imperative to take action. With a battalion at his command, in proximity to the situation, Lin Hui recognized that the arrival of reinforcements was uncertain. He would first lead his men to ensure their safety while simultaneously assessing the results of their training over the past weeks. A perfect balance, indeed. Making a resolute decision, Lin Hui swiftly traversed through the forest, producing a piercing sound from his whistle. The shrill assembly call echoed throughout the woods, startling the birds and beasts into hasty flight. From various corners of the forest, many cautiously emerged, their faces etched with apprehension. What is happening? Why the sudden whistle? Are we to venture out? Could there be some trickery involved? This group had been thoroughly frightened. They were wary that Lin Hui might concoct some sinister plot against them. One by one, they hesitated, reluctant to show themselves. Lin Hui, undeterred, continued to blow the whistle while bellowing. Everyone, come out and assemble. Move quickly. Soon, individuals began to gather in the clearing. Once all were present, Lin Hui barked in a serious tone. Attention. Instinctively, everyone jolted, sensing the gravity of the situation, and stood tall. Lin Hui wasted no time. Cutting straight to the chase. I have just received word that in Area 328, monkey soldiers have crossed the border and are preparing to take action. The Border Patrol has requested support from above, but we do not know when help will arrive. We are closest, so I have decided to take you all to assist. A wave of shock rippled through the crowd. Indeed, something was amiss. The crossing of monkey soldiers. Was this an invitation to disaster? Wait. Zhang Jiantao interjected hastily. We have no weapons. What can we do if we go? Other company commanders chimed in. We don't even know the specifics of the situation. If they are armed, won't we be at a severe disadvantage? Lin Hui replied sternly. Once we arrive, our allies should provide us with weapons. A voice from the crowd questioned. What if they do not? Lin Hui smiled slightly. Even if they don't, can't we seize the enemy's arms? Our ancestors said, if we have no guns or cannons, the enemy will supply them for us. The group fell momentarily silent. Timing is crucial when making such statements. The conditions then were vastly different from those now. One cannot simply apply ancestral wisdom as if it were universally applicable. Back then, most had only rudimentary rifles and ambush tactics, but now they faced automatic weaponry. Perhaps even heavy artillery. How could they seize anything? Charging forth would likely lead to their demise. Seeing their silence, Lin Hui coldly inquired, What? Are you all afraid? They exchanged glances, remaining reticent, until Zhang Jiantao could no longer hold back. It's not fear, it's just that without weapons, going there would be tantamount to seeking death. Lin Hui, with utmost seriousness, responded, Company Commander, our forebears had nothing yet still triumphed over invaders. They fought with the most rudimentary equipment, clad in the thinnest garments, enduring the harshest winters to defeat formidable foes. Why can't we do the same? Fists clenched, a fierce fire ignited within them. Memories of past battles vivid in their minds. Lin Hui stated coldly, In those days, we drove that group of monkeys back economically by a decade. They once boasted of being the third strongest in the world, yet we laid them low, rendering them vanquished. His gaze swept across the assembly, demanding, "I ask you, are you still soldiers?" "Yes." They thundered back in unison, their spirits ignited. Lin Hui pressed on. "Now, our land is being infringed upon. What shall you do?" "Fight back," they exclaimed vehemently. "Lin Hui, what do you say? How shall we proceed?" Every individual was red-eyed, brimming with fury, eager to leap into action like a rocket to annihilate this band of monkey soldiers. Observing the fervent spirit and righteous indignation of the crowd, Lin Hui nodded in satisfaction. Our training serves a purpose. It is not merely to secure victories in drills, but to enhance our combat prowess and our ability to vanquish foes. This presents a splendid opportunity for real combat, and I implore you all to seize it. Of course, I have not received orders to engage. This is merely my personal sentiment, yet I hope to garner your support. The atmosphere was ignited by their fervor, each heart swelling with indomitable fighting spirit. Why did they enlist? Was it not to safeguard their homeland? Now, that pack of monkeys dares to challenge our authority. If we do not retaliate, what right do we have to don our military uniforms? Several company commanders clenched their jaws and roared in unison, "We stand with you." The others echoed the roar, their eyes ablaze with battle fervor. Likewise, "It is our duty to defend our territory, damn them." A smile graced Lin Hui's face as he raised his arm triumphantly. "Let us embark on this mission to vanquish these little monkeys." Chapter 145, Never Seen Before. A deputy company commander leading a battalion? Region 328. Li Guotao peered out from his position, lifting his binoculars to scrutinize the distant valley. After a moment, he slowly withdrew and inquired of his subordinate, "What is the current situation?" The subordinate promptly replied, "We have just dispatched personnel for reconnaissance and discovered numerous signs of activity near the opposite valley. They were preparing to infiltrate, but we repelled them. Were there any casualties?" "None." "That is good." Li Guotao slammed his fist into the ground, his face contorted with rage. This pack of scoundrels from Monkey Nation, having forgotten the pain of past wounds, rises again after being so thoroughly defeated decades ago. He marked several positions reported by his subordinates on the map, quickly comprehending their intentions. It appeared they sought to infiltrate and link up, aiming to seize our territory. Li Guotao sneered, while the little curry soldiers creep in stealthily. Terrified of being detected, these monkey soldiers brazenly attempt a military takeover, utterly audacious. He coldly inquired, "How long until reinforcements arrive?" The subordinate replied, "We just made contact. They have departed and will arrive in 3 hours." Li Guotao nodded, about to speak when a soldier rushed in, shouting, "Report, reinforcements have arrived." Li Guotao was taken aback, turning to the earlier subordinate. "Did you not say it would be 3 hours?" The subordinate was equally perplexed. That cannot be. He had just contacted the border troops 2 minutes ago. They were still en route. Even if they were traveling at lightning speed, it could not be this swift. "Let us investigate." Li Guotao immediately led his men forth. However, upon seeing the newcomers, they were all astonished and bewildered. Li Guotao stared at the group before him, his jaw nearly hitting the ground. "Is this what you call reinforcements?" Before him lay a sea of disheveled individuals, each clad in tattered garments, resembling a legion of beggars. A considerable throng, numbering in the hundreds, stood before him. Li Guotao opened his mouth, at a loss for words. Just then, Lin Hui approached with a beaming smile, offering a salute. "Greetings, we are from the 602nd Tiger Regiment of the Southwest War Zone. We happened to be training nearby, and, upon hearing of your urgent situation, we rushed over to assist." As Li Guotao received the identification documents, his expression grew peculiar. He examined the photograph, then scrutinized Lin Hui, confirming their identities before returning the documents. After much deliberation, it became evident that they were not reinforcements dispatched from above, but rather a nearby unit that had come to offer aid. With a forced smile, Li Guotao remarked, "Deputy Company Commander, you certainly have guts, arriving here without any weaponry to support us." Lin Hui chuckled, "We may lack arms, but you possess them. Share some with us, and we shall help you secure the border, preventing those rascals from crossing." Li Guotao's lips curled in a wry smile. It felt as though they were here to partake for free. "We do have weapons, but our ammunition is limited. Are you suggesting that we exhaust our entire stockpile to accommodate your entire contingent?" "Not at all." Lin Hui waved his hand dismissively. "The situation is dire. We are merely here to assist you temporarily. If they see our numbers, they will hesitate to act. Once reinforcements arrive, we shall take our leave." Li Guotao's brow furrowed, and his countenance darkened. The enemy had already launched several assaults and continued to mobilize troops. It seemed a significant operation was underway, and they were indeed short-handed. With so many adversaries, relying solely on their 2 companies would be insufficient to hold the line. After a moment of contemplation, Li Guotao replied, "Allow me to consult." "No time." Lin Hui urged. "You have seen the credentials. We are brother units. What is there to fear? Those rascals wish to trample our land. As soldiers of the Flame Nation, we have a duty to defend our territory. We must repel them. Reinforcements will take at least 2 to 3 hours to arrive. We cannot afford to wait. Li Guotao's expression was grim, as if he could wring water from it. This was his greatest concern. A large number of enemy troops were mobilizing towards their position, and if they did not bolster their defenses, their homeland would be compromised. As soldiers of the Flame Nation, they bore the responsibility of safeguarding their territory. Above all, Li Guotao could not permit any infringement upon their dignity. Weighing the pros and cons, he stated solemnly, "Very well. I can allocate weapons to you, but you are only to assist in defense, with no overstepping of boundaries. Should armed conflict arise, you must follow my orders." Understood. Lin Hui gestured an okay sign. Observing Lin Hui's earnest expression, Li Guotao felt somewhat reassured as he led the group to the outpost to collect their weapons. As they walked, Suda couldn't contain his curiosity and leaned in, frowning as he asked, "Lin Hui, did you not say earlier that we were here to confront the enemy? Now we must heed their commands. How can we act freely?" Lin Hui chuckled, "Squad leader, do you truly believe he would trust my words? Why would you also take them to heart?" Suda was momentarily taken aback, but quickly regained his composure. The others also displayed malicious smiles, as they nearly forgot that Lin Hui was nothing but a rogue. His words held almost no credibility. With a smile, Lin Hui remarked, "Aren't there reinforcements yet to arrive? The battlefield is ever-changing, and before they get here, we can exercise our initiative. No problem." Immediately, mischievous grins spread across their faces. His reasoning was too sound. If they were to find an opportunity, they must act. Otherwise, their efforts would be in vain. Li Guotao opened the heavy iron door and led Lin Hui and the others into the armory. Upon entering, they couldn't help but gasp in astonishment. Although it was merely a border outpost, it housed an impressive arsenal. Enough weaponry to equip an entire regiment. "Take whatever you need," Li Guotao instructed before departing. Lin Hui exchanged glances with the others and whispered, "Take all the heavy firepower. It's a waste to use heavy weaponry on monkey soldiers." "Exactly, that makes sense." Suda quickly returned the submachine gun and picked up a light machine gun. Nearby, Wang Yong and Chineru, a couple of fools, were mesmerized by the sight of the 40 caliber weapon and each grabbed one. Once everyone was armed, they swiftly moved to the front lines, preparing their concealment. Lin Hui lay on the ground and inquired of Li Guotao, "What is the current situation on the opposite side?" Li Guotao, glancing at his insignia of second lieutenant and then at the several captains behind him, looked perplexed. "Who exactly is in charge here?" Lin Hui grinned, pointing at himself. "For now, it's me." The other company commanders nodded in agreement. "Just listen to him. He is our regiment's temporary commander." Li Guotao was utterly speechless. It was the first time he had witnessed a second lieutenant commanding an entire regiment. It was truly a remarkable sight. "Now, please explain the situation," he said. Li Guotao unfolded a map, indicating a specific location and then pointing to a ravine on the opposite mountainside. "According to our reconnaissance, there are signs of monkey soldiers' activity here, and at those two locations. I suspect they intend to infiltrate from that direction. Thus, our current defensive position is set to await their approach." Lin Hui squinted, scrutinizing the map closely, and suddenly broke into a cold smile. "You've been misled. If we remain here, we are likely to suffer heavy casualties." Chapter 146. Once they protected this place with their blood. Now, it is our turn. Li Guotao was immediately incensed, his eyes blazing. "What do you mean by that? Are you questioning my judgment and reconnaissance skills?" Lin Hui shook his head. "Your judgment is sound. Your observations are thorough, and your reconnaissance is accurate." Li Guotao, fuming, pounded the ground in frustration. "Are you mocking me?" Lin Hui waved his hand dismissively. "Calm down. Take it easy." Realizing he had lost his composure, Li Guotao snorted coldly. "You must provide me with a reasonable explanation." Lin Hui shrugged and replied candidly, "Monkey soldiers have their own methods of combat. Once that battle concluded and we had retreated, they resorted to deploying special forces for prolonged periods, engaging us through small-scale infiltrations. Reflect upon the situation you currently face. Does it not bear some resemblance?" Li Guotao, brimming with indignation, remained silent, yet tacitly acknowledged Lin Hui's perspective. Given the present circumstances, it was evident that the infiltrators were indeed employing such tactical maneuvers. Their numbers were few. They would strike swiftly and vanish, quite cunningly. Should they secure a victory, they would swiftly occupy the area, followed by a continuous influx of reinforcements. Previously, they had captured territory through this very method. Li Guotao gazed at the slightly lower mountain in the distance, then turned to Lin Hui and, still somewhat unconvinced, urged him to continue. Lin Hui, with a subtle smile, pointed to several locations on the map. "Here, and here represent our defensive positions. The points they occupy form a line, indicating the approximate location of the enemy forces. From my observations, the areas they have taken are not particularly strategic. Thus they will undoubtedly advance further." Li Guotao furrowed his brow. Are you suggesting they will launch an attack? Lin Hui nodded. Their current positions are lower. To fully seize this area, they must confront us and capture our hilltop. Only then can they gain the vantage point to survey the surroundings. This would enable them to dominate both infiltration and harassment tactics. He traced a line on the map. As long as we maintain control of this line, even with their remarkable capabilities, the enemy will find it exceedingly difficult to take action, which elucidates their presence here. Li Guotao was quite astonished. He had not anticipated that a junior officer possessed such knowledge. Slightly displeased, he inquired, "What did you mean when you said we were deceived and doomed?" Lin Hui chuckled lightly, raising his hand to indicate two positions on the distant mountain. "Do you see those 2 points? They are level with us." Li Guotao squinted into the distance, unable to discern the significance. Their current position was somewhat elevated, while the enemy's hill was slightly lower. For them to infiltrate and launch an assault, they would have to ascend from below. Our position could easily cover the lower ground, contradicting Lin Hui's assertions. "Be clearer," Li Guotao urged. Lin Hui sighed. Having articulated his point so plainly, he wondered why it remained elusive. If those adversaries wished to infiltrate from below and charge us, with our firepower directed downward, they would surely meet their demise. Thus, prior to any offensive, they will undoubtedly seek to suppress us with overwhelming firepower. He pointed to the map and then gestured with his chin towards several positions on the enemy's mountain. Those areas are level with our position and possess excellent visibility, likely serving as their machine gun nests. Should this group of adversaries manage to infiltrate and charge, while our attention is diverted below, they could exploit our vulnerability to open fire, resulting in catastrophic casualties and potentially scattering our defense. Li Guotao was suddenly taken aback. He hurriedly raised his binoculars to survey the surroundings, his mind racing with thoughts. Upon realizing the gravity of the situation, a cold sweat broke out on his back. Lin Hui's words were not mere fabrications. Given the nature of the monkey soldiers, they were entirely capable of such actions. At that moment, Li Guotao found himself genuinely convinced. His impression of Lin Hui drastically transformed. Initially, he had thought Lin Hui was merely exaggerating, speaking without basis, but now it was evident that he possessed genuine ability. Despite having been stationed there for years without noticing anything amiss, Lin Hui arrived and quickly grasped the situation with remarkable clarity, truly impressive. Little did he know, Lin Hui was also learning on the fly. As he described the scene, the system enhanced his tactical thinking. Coupled with his extraordinary eyesight, he was able to detect subtle discrepancies on the opposing hill. By integrating the treacherous and cunning characteristics of the monkey soldiers, Lin Hui reached his conclusions. These individuals were undoubtedly aiming for armed territorial occupation. Thus it was certain they had contingencies in place. Li Guotao immediately felt a surge of anxiety and inquired urgently, "Since you've discerned the situation, what countermeasures do we have?" Lin Hui replied nonchalantly, "For now, there is no effective plan. However, we might consider a different approach. Rather than waiting here for them to attack, we should take the initiative and eliminate their high ground first. Without fire cover, even if they outnumber us, they won't be able to launch a successful assault." "That sounds excellent," Li Guotao exclaimed, slapping his thigh, his eyes gleaming with excitement. "Once our reinforcements arrive, we'll launch our attack immediately." But Lin Hui shook his head and said, "I fear it may be too late." "What do you mean?" Li Guotao asked. "Look at the sky. Darkness is imminent. The monkey soldiers excel in night ambushes, and once night falls, they will act swiftly. Therefore, we must strike now, taking the offensive." Li Guotao suddenly became hesitant. He understood their precarious situation. However, their experience in nighttime jungle combat could not compare to that of the monkey soldiers. If they were to engage in battle, it was likely they would come off worse. Sensing his concerns, Lin Hui decisively stated, "Do not hesitate. The night is nearly upon us. Every second we delay increases our peril. At worst, we'll position our men at the front. While you provide support from behind, it will work out fine." Li Guotao looked skeptically at the ragtag army behind Lin Hui. "Can they manage?" Lin Hui pointed to the group and smiled. "They are particularly adept at jungle warfare. Throughout this time, we have been honing our skills in the forest. As long as we are in the woods, not only will we handle these monkey soldiers, we could even contend with elite special forces." A glance at the disheveled troops revealed their wild demeanor, as if they had grown up in the wilderness. The sky was quickly succumbing to darkness, and the environment around them was dimming. The reinforcements would not arrive for at least another 2 hours. Li Guotao could neither afford to wait nor dare to do so. Lin Hui interrupted his thoughts with a serious tone. "Behind us are countless ordinary citizens. If we allow these scoundrels to seize our land, the people will be in peril. If we cannot defend the land of our homeland, what face do we have to confront the predecessors who bled and sacrificed on this very soil? Soldiers of the Flame Nation, it is our duty to protect our territory." Upon hearing these 8 words, Li Guotao shuddered, his eyes instantly filled with fierce combat spirit. In that moment, He seemed to hear the resounding call to charge. He envisioned the hills and fields teeming with valiant ancestors wielding swords and rifles, fighting bravely. His blood surged with fervor as he clenched his fists, exclaiming, "Damn those monkey soldiers! They dare to rampage on our land. Our predecessors vanquished them. And today we shall not falter. Just tell us how to proceed." Lin Hui smiled, his heart equally ablaze. It is precisely because of countless selfless soldiers that our homeland thrives in peace and prosperity today. It was the ancestors who safeguarded this place with their lives and blood. Now it is their turn. Lin Hui took a deep breath, his gaze intense. "Just follow me." He turned to the several company commanders behind him, instructing, "Notify everyone to prepare. Soon, we shall eliminate these monkey soldiers." Yes, the collective fervor ignited, battle spirits surging in every eye. Chapter 147, Mastery of Deception, Let Us Go. Lin Hui waved his hand, ready to lead the charge. Li Guotao immediately called after him, "Be cautious, and ensure your safety." Lin Hui replied with a slight smile. "The ones who need to worry about safety are those monkey soldiers. Let's move." With that, he swiftly departed the position, disappearing into the forest ahead. Observing Lin Hui's unwavering confidence, Li Guotao took a deep breath, feeling a surge of reassurance within himself. Upon entering the forest, Lin Hui signaled with his hand. Everyone quickly dispersed, commencing their camouflage preparations. They smeared mud on themselves, adorned branches and leaves, and some even affixed tree bark and moss to their bodies. Their movements were remarkably adept, as if it were second nature. In the blink of an eye, an entire regiment vanished, perfectly camouflaged and blending seamlessly with the forest. Zhang Jiantao, entirely wrapped in his disguise, glanced at Lin Hui and asked, "What shall we do now?" Lin Hui squinted, a cold smile forming. "Those monkeys fancy infiltration, don't they? Let us show them who truly masters the art of camouflage and infiltration. Maintain some distance. Group yourselves into 3s or 4s to disperse. Even if the enemy approaches, it will be difficult for them to expose us. And then stay close to me." Several company commanders rolled their eyes, thinking this was hardly helpful. The groups swiftly scattered throughout the forest, resembling a vast net spread wide, yet at Lin Hui's command, it could retract instantly. The area was extensive, and the monkey soldiers were adept at jungle warfare. Thus, even if the enemy drew near, it would be challenging to discern any anomalies without careful scrutiny. "Let us move." Lin Hui gestured, and everyone crouched low, quickly following. After a short while, rustling sounds emerged from the thicket ahead. Lin Hui raised his hand for silence, and everyone immediately alerted, dropping to the ground. Soon, several shadowy figures stealthily approached from the direction of the noise. A total of 7 or 8 individuals, clad in monkey military attire, exhibited a rather unsavory demeanor. As they drew nearer, the observers could discern the few hairs and moles dotting their faces. Everyone held their breath, anxiety rising to their throats. Unlike a drill, this was a matter of life and death. Should they be discovered, their lives would be in jeopardy. Wang Yong had already assumed the guise of a tree, remaining utterly still. As several monkey soldiers approached him, his heart raced, praying fervently not to be spotted. Suddenly, one of the monkey soldiers halted beside him. Wang Yong nearly believed he had been discovered. Even Lin Hui instinctively reached for the weapon at his back, contemplating the dire necessity of eliminating them should their cover be blown. At that moment, a rustling sound echoed, and before Wang Yong could react, a warm stream cascaded onto his thigh. Stunned, his mind flooded with a torrent of expletives. "Hurry over here. We must act swiftly. We cannot allow the Yen Nation soldiers to notice us." After finishing his business, the monkey soldier shook himself off before hastily rejoining his comrades. Although Lin Hui could not comprehend their language, he surmised their intentions, a stealthy infiltration under the cover of darkness to execute an ambush. It was evident that time was of the essence. Once the soldiers had completely vanished from sight, Wang Yong, overwhelmed with fear, collapsed onto the ground, his legs trembling. Chun Eru and the others rushed to his side, inquiring about his well-being. Wang Yong pointed to the damp patch on his leg, exasperated. "Damn it. He actually urinated on me. If only I had a pair of scissors, I would have taken care of him." Lin Hui approached, chuckling as he helped him up. "This merely demonstrates that your camouflage skills have indeed reached an extraordinary level. This band of monkey soldiers excels in jungle warfare. Even the elite SAM Special Forces have suffered defeats at their hands." Wang Yong's eyes sparkled with excitement. "Are we really that formidable? Does this mean I am even more impressive than a Navy SEAL?" The others were suddenly invigorated. The monkey nation was heavily forested, making their soldiers inherently adept in such terrain. Yet, those soldiers had passed right by them without discerning their disguise, a testament to the proficiency they had achieved. They had blended seamlessly with the jungle environment, rendering them nearly indistinguishable to the naked eye. Of course, this remarkable progress was deeply rooted in Lin Hui's grueling and relentless jungle training. Without such rigorous demands, their advancement would not have been so profound. I had no idea we were this capable. Indeed, we are exceptional. An entire regiment lurked nearby, and they failed to detect us. And they still wish to engage us in combat. Silence. Lin Hui interjected with a cold huff. Their forces have already commenced their operations. We must act swiftly. The group nodded in agreement and promptly ascended the mountain. Along the way, they encountered at least 3 or 4 waves of enemies. Yet their exquisite camouflage skills allowed them to evade detection each time. At a location near the mountain summit, Lin Hui crouched behind a raised mound of earth, quietly observing above. This is it. Zhang Jiantao squinted upward, straining to comprehend the situation. Are you certain? It doesn't appear to be an ambush. Lin Hui replied with a smile. I can assure you 100%, behind that thicket lies their machine gun nest. That position offers the clearest line of sight. Once the combat begins, their firepower can easily cover our entire position across the way. Zhang Jiantao turned his head to glance toward our own lines, his heart racing. Indeed, as Lin Hui had described, from this vantage point, one could see the entire layout of the opposing forces. Should those guerrilla fighters launch a surprise attack from below, our men would be completely exposed to enemy fire. The consequences were unimaginable. Zhang Jiantao gritted his teeth in anger. These scoundrels are courting death. Lin Hui chuckled darkly. Their demise is imminent. He turned to the other company commanders, whispering instructions. I have marked several positions we just passed. Each of you take your men and lie in wait. Await my command. The moment I give the signal, unleash all firepower. We must make them understand that decades ago, they were no match for us, and they remain beneath our heel even now. Understood. The other company commanders nodded gravely and swiftly moved to their designated locations. A cold gleam flickered in Lin Hui's eyes as a cruel smile crept across his lips. I've longed to deal with these traitorous wretches. The debts of the past remain unpaid. Everyone, be prepared for action. Click, click. The bullets were chambered, all poised for the impending confrontation. What is the meaning of this? High Commander Gao Shan, rushing to provide support, glared furiously at Li Guotao. Who authorized you to act independently? Who gave you permission? Li Guotao, feeling wronged, replied, Commander. The situation was urgent, and Gao Shan cut him off, erupting in fury. Urgent my foot. Do you realize the potential consequences of your actions? Those guerrilla fighters excel in jungle warfare. It is a fool's dream for an entire regiment to stealthily approach their machine gun position. Li Guotao was now thoroughly alarmed. He had been persuaded by Lin Hui to agree to this plan. In retrospect, these ragged individuals appeared far from formidable. If they truly encountered the guerrilla fighters in the forest, the outcome would be catastrophic. What do we do now? Gao Shan's frustration was palpable. What can we do? Quickly contact them and call them back. If nothing happens, fine. But if something goes awry, who among us can bear the responsibility? Li Guotao hastily summoned a messenger. Just as he grasped the communicator to reach Lin Hui. Bang, bang, bang. The jarring sound of gunfire suddenly echoed through the desolate valley. The birds and beasts in the forest scattered in terror. Li Guotao's hand trembled, nearly dropping the walkie-talkie. He stared in shock at the flashes of light erupting from the opposing mountain, realizing with dread, it's over. They have already engaged in battle. Gao Shan's face turned crimson, veins bulging on his forehead, as he barked orders to his subordinates. Hurry, hurry and provide reinforcement. We absolutely cannot allow anything to happen to our comrades. Chapter 148. The despairing and tormented enemy. Quickly, we must rush to provide aid. We must ensure the safety of our personnel. Takasuji shouted anxiously, as the reinforcements swiftly armed themselves and dashed into the forest. Li Guotao left some men to continue their watch here, quickly following suit. A myriad of emotions swirled within him. Please, do not let anything happen to you. In the woods, the monkey soldiers preparing to infiltrate were startled by the sound of gunfire, turning back in fear. What is happening? Why is there gunfire behind us? Could those fellows have snuck past? Impossible. With so many of us dispersed in the forest, if anyone had infiltrated, we would surely have noticed. The monkey soldiers were utterly perplexed. Could it be divine intervention? A paratrooper drop was out of the question. In such a location, any aircraft would be spotted immediately. Several subordinates looked anxiously at their commander, concern etched on their faces. Sir, what should we do now? Should we continue forward? The monkey officer's expression darkened considerably. Turn back immediately. I am certain our plans have been exposed. The enemy is intent on capturing our machine gun position. Moreover, those on the other side are already prepared. If we advance, we will be walking into a trap, and their reinforcements may have already arrived. Let us ensure that those who have come from behind do not return. A group of monkey soldiers, filled with murderous intent, moved forward. The jungle was their domain. They had previously inflicted great losses on elite forces in this very place. Thus, they held little regard for their current adversaries. Even if they could infiltrate the rear, what of it? They would ensure that no one returned alive. Crucially, if the machine gun positioned behind fell to the enemy, they would find themselves trapped and vulnerable as lambs to the slaughter. Therefore, such a scenario must be absolutely prevented. Behind the thicket, numerous bodies lay sprawled in disarray. This was one of the monkey soldiers' machine gun positions. Delightful. This is utterly exhilarating. Wang Yong, bloodied, was filled with a thrill akin to being on a high. Chun Eru and others were equally exhilarated, their heads steaming with excitement. This was their first real combat experience, their first time taking lives. Contrary to their expectations, rather than feeling discomfort, they were invigorated, as if ignited by an inner flame. These despicable scoundrels had once betrayed their own, and after decades, they sought to reclaim our land. They were clearly courting death. More importantly, if they were not eliminated, our side would inevitably suffer. Their machine gun positions were strategically placed here, clearly intending to unleash a surprise attack. If they succeeded, not a single person from the two defending companies would survive. Lin Hui observed the intense killing intent in their eyes, a smile curling at the corners of his mouth. The old adage proves true. Combat is indeed the finest crucible for honing a soldier. Only through blood-soaked battles can one grow and mature the fastest. Report to the deputy platoon leader. An old soldier dashed forward. A large contingent of monkey soldiers was approaching, estimated to number over 200. Just in time, Lin Hui glanced at the several company commanders and coldly instructed, deploy heavy firepower and give them a proper welcome. Additionally, send troops to flank them from both sides, cutting off their retreat. Anyone daring to target us shall not escape. Understood. The company commanders nodded with a smirk and swiftly moved out. Zhang Jiantao, leading two companies armed with 40mm artillery, concealed themselves along the narrow path leading uphill. Meanwhile, the others quickly split into two groups, flanking from the left and right. Every movement was executed with precision. Lin Hui hardly needed to issue any further commands, as they instinctively understood their roles, a testament to their long-standing training in the forest. Prepare yourselves. Before long, Lin Hui spotted figures emerging in the distance. He chose to hold his fire until most of the enemy was within range, then abruptly waved his hand. Unleash hell upon them. No problem. Whoosh. One by one, rockets soared through the forest, hurtling toward the monkey's position. The violent explosions instantaneously sent dozens of monkey soldiers to their demise. Witnessing the fiery blasts ahead, the monkey officer was struck with panic, his face paling. There's an ambush up ahead. We've been outsmarted. Scatter, disperse quickly. The remaining monkey soldiers fled in all directions, their specialty being guerrilla tactics. As long as they had the cover of the forest, they feared no ambush. Even if they were outmatched, their familiarity with the terrain guaranteed their escape. In short, if they desired to leave, no one could stop them. Lin Hui watched as they scampered away like flies and immediately grabbed the radio. Ensure none escape. Not a single one. Understood, came the mischievous replies over the radio. At that moment, several monkey soldiers darted swiftly through the woods. Seeing that the pursuers had not caught up, they wore smug expressions. Do they think they can ambush us in our own territory? They're still dreaming. Climb the trees and teach those guys a lesson. Let them pay the price. The monkey soldiers swiftly began to ascend the trees. Once in the branches, they could dominate the field of vision and hide among the foliage to launch surprise shots. This was their tried-and-true tactic, one that had never failed them. However, as they had scarcely settled on the branches, gunshots suddenly erupted from the opposing trees. Bang, bang, bang. A few monkey soldiers plummeted from the trees like overripe coconuts. Clutching their bleeding chests, they pointed accusingly at the figures in the trees. Damn it. How did they anticipate our intentions and set an ambush in advance? What a treacherous act. On the opposite tree, Suda chuckled wickedly. Did you really think that only your band of monkey soldiers excelled in guerrilla warfare? Meanwhile, on the other side, in the grass, 4 or 5 monkey soldiers crawled low to the ground, using their elbows to propel themselves swiftly forward. In the dense forest, the foliage flourished, and as long as they kept their heads down, they could swiftly extricate themselves from the battlefield. Once they departed and reported the situation, reinforcements would undoubtedly arrive to annihilate these foes without mercy. Just as they wriggled forward like giant maggots, a pair of enormous feet suddenly appeared before them. They slowly raised their heads to behold the grinning faces of Wang Yong and Shineru, their dark visages reflecting a mischievous delight. Where do you think you're going? Shall we escort you a little further? Startled, the handful of monkey soldiers instinctively prepared to leap up and draw their weapons. Oh, you dare to fight back? Wang Yong and his comrades swung their rifle butts, delivering a heavy blow to their heads, leaving them dazed and incapacitated on the ground. Wang Yong kicked a few of the fallen, spitting on one as he remarked, "You pathetic little chickens. Compared to Brother Huey's jungle tactics, you're woefully inadequate. And you still dare to provoke us?" Chun Eru tugged at him, urging, "Let us move." Brother Hui said to resolve this swiftly. The same scene unfolded throughout the forest. This band of monkey soldiers, renowned for their prowess in jungle warfare, found themselves inexplicably subdued, as if the very essence of their intentions was anticipated by their adversaries. Even their attempts to escape proved futile. The forest was ensnared with an elaborate net, ensuring that no matter how deeply they burrowed, their foes would unearth them. The monkey officer, crawling swiftly on his hands and knees, cursed, "Damn those Yin nationals. When did they become so cunning? We are supposed to be the masters of jungle combat, yet every encounter leaves us increasingly frustrated." Before he could finish his lament, a bullet suddenly struck him from behind, piercing through with a sickening thud. "Ouch!" he yelped, springing to his feet, his mouth forming a perfect S. He clutched his bleeding posterior, cursing, "Who shot me? How despicable! You have no shame, ambushing us like this." No sooner had he uttered these words than another bullet hurtled toward his head. Witnessing the inertia propelling